Fox News. It happened last night, discussing the ongoing and controversial U.S. military operation off the Venezuela coast, blowing up more than 20 boats suspected of trafficking illegal drugs, killing more than 80 the Trump administration calls narco-terrorists.
As lawmakers on both sides of the aisle call into question the legality of these boat strikes. At issue is a Washington Post report that Secretary of War Pete Hegseth ordered a follow-on strike on an alleged drug boat on September 2nd, killing 2 survivors. The Post reported the second strike was conducted under Hegseth's initial order to kill them all. The White House is not denying a second strike occurred, claiming it was done in self-defense as they push forward with what they call an anti-drug trafficking campaign.
That's Fox's Madeline Rivera. Speaking of combating drugs, one of the sons of the Mexican drug lord known as El Chapo, who's in prison for life in the U.S., has pleaded guilty to drug-related charges, a plea that could spare Joaquin Guzman Lopez the same life behind bars fate here in the U.S. as his father. It's Election Day in Tennessee to fill a vacant seat in the House, and Fox's Gernal Scott reports.
The 7th District seat was in GOP hands. House Speaker Mike Johnson wants to keep it there.
We should win, but we need to run the score up.
Johnson appeared with GOP congressional candidate Matt Van Epps on Monday's Will Cain show on Fox. Van Epps criticized his Democratic opponent, Afton Bain, on many issues.
She wants to defund the police. She wants to abolish prisons. She supports transgender surgery for minors without parental consent.
Bain said Republicans have not represented her district well.
They should have been delivering for Tennessee voters and the American people rather than scapegoating and terrorizing our communities.
Luigi Mangione returns to court for day 2 of a pre-trial hearing in New York City in the murder case against him almost exactly a year after he's accused of shooting United Healthcare CEO Brian Thompson outside a New York City hotel. America's listening to Fox News.
So Pure Talk is offering unlimited talk, text, and data on a crazy fast 5G network for just $29.95 a month for life. Not your phone's life, your life. This top-tier plan is normally $65 a month, but if you switch today, you'll save over 50% every month for the rest of your life. You might say it's the deal of your lifetime. Just dial pound 250, say Mike Rowe. Offer expires 12/7. Some restrictions apply. Details at puretalk.com.
An official message from Medicare.
Medicare plans change from one year to the next. And this year, it's important for you to review your current coverage and compare all your options during Medicare open enrollment. Compare health plans, drug coverage, and costs. See if you can save some money, and don't forget to make sure your drugs are covered. Open enrollment ends December 7th. Visit Medicare.gov or call 1-800-MEDICARE.
Paid for by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services.
WFOM and W292EV Marietta, a Dickey broadcasting station. This hour is presented by Subaru of Gwinnett. You'll love the difference. The Morning Extra, only on Extra 106.3.
Morning, y'all. Tug and Los until 10 on Extra 106.3. It's early, it's rainy, but we're going to guide you through. We're going to hold your hand the whole way. And Neil Bortz will be here at 7:25 to get you fired up. Maybe he'll say something you love. Maybe he'll say something you hate. Could be either one. It's
kind of his thing. It's kind of his gift.
He is not afraid to throw firebombs.
Everybody has some sort of gift. I don't care if you're the smartest person in the world, the dumbest person in the world. There is some sort of gift bestowed on all of us. That's Neil's.
Yeah.
Neil's that he can manage to make a brick wall mad at him.
That's exactly
right. Or excited. Either way.
And then the next day, they won't change the fact that how they feel about Neil, but they'll either be the next day be mad or angry, the opposite of whatever they were the day before.
Well, his Facebook page, that's his home of his incendiary language.
Yeah.
Now, I'm not going to bring it up with him. I mean, I really should. But if I really wanted to have some fun with Neil, I'd be like, so Neil, tell me about that shot program and what the FDA said this week.
Yeah. What do you think?
Because he was one of the primary people that was on Facebook, and everyone's like, come on, dude, come around to this thing.
Yeah, come on. Hey. I think he's probably seen the truth by now.
Listen, I tell you, I got receipts. I got a scoreboard. I got an elephant brain for this stuff. I just don't forget. And then I got Tug, right-hand man, Toke's telling me this morning and drive him up to Memphis because he needed to finish what the King started. I don't even know what that means.
Yeah, well.
I mean, that's what he told me. He's like, once we're done with the show, we're going to Memphis. We're going to finish what the King started.
We're going to we're going to vote in Tennessee. Is what we're going to do. That's what we're going to do.
That's first and foremost, Tennessee, get after it.
We got to keep Afton Bien, the person. She was asked yesterday if she should defend the Nashville police, and she wouldn't give an answer.
Isn't there enough video of that woman acting as nutty as she possibly can be? Like, isn't that supposed to be disqualifying when you attempt to enter into the governor's office and when you have to be escorted on your butt out of there and you sit there screaming and crying? You think, hey, maybe this person, maybe there's too many SSRIs. Maybe there's a little bit too much therapy there. Maybe there's a little too many problems to think that this is a well-balanced person.
Aunt Peg's like, you rah-rah-ree, kick him in the knees. She can't wait. You know? She's like, that the guy that's running to get him, Matt Van Epps, is it Van Epps?
Van Epps.
Yeah. He's low down. He's no good, you know. And Afton, she's my spirit animal. She's my hero. She's exactly what we need. And I'm like, you are just as crazy as she is.
See, we like to pass the buck at times. We talk about how our representation is poor, or the people that are running this country, the people that we elect, they're so low down, they're so dumb, they have so many problems. No, we have a voter problem.
No, absolutely we
do. This is on the people of Nashville to figure this thing out.
It's a 1-point race right now. The last thing I saw was
the internal polling is correct.
1-point race.
This is a voter problem.
That's how crazy people are. Doesn't matter where they are. California or Tennessee, crazy. They will embrace crazy wherever they are.
Is it just that it creates chaos? Is that all that? I mean, we've talked about the polling. The polling, when it comes to what Aunt Peg and the rest of the left cares about, is chaos. That's all they want.
Getting Trump. Don't leave that part out.
Well, I mean, as part of it. I mean, chaos is when you manage to get rid of a president like Richard Nixon. Okay, they'll figure out a way to try and do this. That's all that's happening with their ops that they're conducting currently. But when you just look at it, it's not about the cost of the groceries or whether the southern border's closed or how much money immigrants are stealing from us. It's just chaos. And that's all they're voting for. What presents the most possibility for chaos?
I can't figure out how anybody likes that. I can't figure out how anybody's attracted to it. I can't figure out nothing. I can't figure out how Nashville, Tennessee would not see this woman as completely nuts. But those people that work at the record labels are going, yeah, we're going to vote for her.
Remember when I told you?
There'll be the downfall of all of our artists. It'll be great. And then these fools are out of jobs. It's so dumb.
Do you remember I told you 2 weeks ago when I told you that Superman was not your dad, Superman wasn't real, and you kind of got hurt because I said...
it breaks, it's heartbreaking.
I said, we keep playing this whole game of like, Nashville, country music, oh, it's all conservative.
Well, the artists, 70% of the artists...
the hell with it. No, it's all part of this. This entire community... I know it hurts to hear.
It doesn't hurt to hear.
But there's a reason why this community is talking about a 1% vote.
Man. I can tell you.
1% vote. I know it's hard to hear.
It's not.
I know.
It's the record labels. It's the
whole industry.
Academy of Country Music. Dude, everybody but the artists in the entire format. And
they're
probably
just as left.
And probably 30% of them are. You're right about that. Tim McGraw, Kenny Chesney. I can give you a list of them. And then I can give you the list of the guys that would sit here on our show with us and talk about this because I've discussed it with them. But I'm telling you, as an industry, you're correct. As an industry, you're right. As a whole, if you have to count the whole.
This is what we have happening. And this is one of the great American cities, up and coming. Yeah. Here's the growth. Here's the expansion,
we're going to put a baseball team there.
And then you have this going on.
Yeah.
It's like, all right, you all, just to the north, have a chance to figure this thing out today. Go clean it up and go make it happen. If you know people that live in that area, make a phone call. I'm sure that we're going to hear a bunch from Clay and Buck this afternoon. Obviously, with Clay.
Cow. Yeah, living in Nashville.
He talked about the challenges of they've redistricted. And so people aren't sure exactly, do I live in this area or not? Head on over to the poll.
Yeah, right.
Figure it out.
Maybe go to the website and find out.
What's the worst thing they can tell you? Hey, you're not supposed to vote in this election.
Or physically go to your website.
Only takes a minute.
It does, dude.
What do we have? A voter problem.
We have a major voter problem.
Voter problems give us representation problems. It doesn't work the other way around.
No, I agree with you, dude. 100%. These fools. Just like in Georgia, just like in New York and California. That's when I say that communism, socialism will spread, even in the flyover states, it will, because there's crazy people there too. There's crazy people in Nashville. There's crazy people in Atlanta. There's crazy people in the mountains of North Georgia, where I grew up.
Well, that's disappointing.
There's always been crazy people in the mountains.
But I'm
different kind of crazy.
Right, but you think, I'm going to get out and shoot, howl at the moon, shoot out the lights, small town Saturday night.
I just want you to have a little fun with meth and, kind of stay on my side. That's all.
Exactly.
We have a binding contract here.
Man, I grew up with it's 70-30, it's 80-20, but that 20% is vocal and loud.
The kind of people that'll pick up a raccoon on the side of the road.
Yeah, right, and then get bit, get bit
and has rabies now,
and then not tell anybody his actual phone number so they can get back in touch with. So what happens is,
please explain.
In Cherokee County,
this is one of my neighbors.
Yeah, up where Jure lives, this man. God bless him. He sees a raccoon that's been struck by a car, and he's like, I'm going to save this raccoon. Or
leave
at least
the critters alone.
That's what it is presented as. So he wraps the raccoon in his coat. He takes the raccoon to the Cherokee or the Chattahoochee Nature Center, where they don't deal with raccoons. No. While he's driving with this thing wrapped in his coat, it bites him. They have to obviously put the raccoon down, test it for rabies. Turns out it's got rabies. The guy that took them to the Chattahoochee Nature Center didn't tell him his real name or his real phone number. It wasn't until his family found out that he had been bitten and that they had done tests on this raccoon that they called Chattahoochee Nature Center and say, hey, my relative is this guy. He's the one that got bit.
I do kind of respect. I'm not giving my name. I'm not giving any information. I do kind of respect that, but
why?
Leave the critters alone.
You're saving a raccoon that you're trying to, the one you've been bit by. Seems like you'd want them to get in touch with you. I mean, if you go on the internet at any point during the day, everybody on earth can track you down and has every piece of information about you. So you won't give it to the people that want to get a hold of you because you could potentially have rabies?
I know I'm walking into a question that is going to kind of put me behind the eight ball. But are you familiar with the process of rabies shots?
Isn't it a series in the stomach?
It's not comfortable.
And if I read the story right last night, please don't quote me, but it's something like this. If rabies develops in you and they find it before you get the treatment, there's only like 35 people who's ever survived that.
Yeah, it's bad news. It's bad news bears.
Yeah.
It's not
35 people in the history of the country.
The only reason I know about this, so the San Antonio Spurs used to have a player. He's an NBA Hall of Famer, Pro Basketball Hall of Famer, Manu Ginobili.
Oh, yeah.
And there was a bat flying around the arena.
Yes.
And Ginobili, because he's such a bad arse, managed to slap it out of the air and pick it up and go hand it over to, some people. And, they take the bat out of there. Again, Mexican free-tail bats, Carlsberg Caverns, there's the biggest population of Mexican free-tail bats is just outside of San Antonio. Bats in San Antonio is not a surprise. I know you're making this face. I'm like, oh my God.
Did he? No, I'm just saying, but he got bit?
No. But because he had contact with a bat, they still made him do the rabies sequence.
Oh,
so they were having to plug him in the abdomen with those shots, and he was describing it. And that's the first time I ever heard. I thought it was just here's a shot in the arm. Take care of your rabies. Potentially. I don't even know if I got rabies. No, it's a brutal series of shots.
It's kind of always fun when animals show up in sports. Wait, was it here with Spirit the Hawk? Spirit the Hawk, like maybe 10 years ago, at a Hawks game, just went up and sat on top of the backboard, and they just played. They just kept on playing because they couldn't get him to come back down.
How did I not know that they actually had a hawk?
Spirit the Hawk.
Yes. I had no idea.
Oh, yeah.
That they even had that. The other thing that I didn't know is that you don't have to be bit. You just have to be in contact.
He was just in contact with the bat.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
That sucks.
That's why if there's anything that keeps me away from woodland creatures, it's part of that story of what happens with rabies shots. So respect. If you go pick up raccoons on the side of the road, I don't encourage it, but at the same time, you got a bigger heart than I do.
the circle of life happen. I love animals as much as anybody.
As much as the Chrysler LeBaron can be the circle of life as it hits your 84 Chrysler LeBaron hits the raccoon on the side of the road.
Dog running around and you want to get back to its owner. That's a great thing. Leave the critters alone.
Yeah, if it's a possum or a raccoon.
Like my albino possum that lives in my backyard somewhere.
Yeah.
I
would
leave
have
him.
an albino possum.
We leave each other alone.
But he eats the ticks.
Right.
He does his work.
He does his work.
Y'all steer clear of each other?
He didn't mess with the spiders, but apparently he gets rid of ticks and other things.
Yeah.
And apparently he's not afraid of any kind of venomous snakes. So
he'll eat them too.
You do your thing, I'll do mine.
That's right. But let's
boundaries.
Now, Mama did have a pet raccoon, and she did have a pet possum. So I'm telling you, Northwest Georgia, there are things that happen in North Georgia, in the mountains up there, that just don't happen everywhere else. Mama had an alligator in the 70s. My mama had a pet alligator. And I know people don't believe me when I say it. I will put my hand on the Bible. We'll call her on the telephone.
What was his name?
I don't have any idea. Yeah, to be honest, I don't know. It was gone before I was, I think even before I was born.
You weren't on the scene yet?
I don't think I was on the scene yet. But I'll ask Mama and see if she had a name for it. It just ran around the front yard in Dalton, Georgia. I'm not kidding, y'all. And apparently,
how many people must have thought that lady is
nuts?
Yeah,
absolutely nuts. Now you know what I've spawned from. So when there's those occasions, you're like, Doug may be crazy. Some of the things he says, I don't agree with.
I'm telling you, he wants me to drive him to Memphis to finish what the king started, is what he told me.
What the king started there at Graceland. We're going to save the great state of Tennessee. We're going to go out there and vote illegally, because apparently that's legal these days. Just ask the Somalis. They'll do it.
Okay, I did remember this correctly. This was 2009 in the playoffs. The Hawks and the Heat were playing. It was game 2.
So it's just once in a while that they bring out Spirit the Hawk.
Yeah, I don't think
it'd be with a regular. I've been to a few Hawks games and I've never seen him.
And I can't remember which player it was, but this was back when we had Coach Woodson. And they were throwing the ball at the backboard to try to get the Hawk down, because it's like the Auburn War Eagle. It's supposed to come to the handler and get a little nibble or something.
Well, it gets a little mouse. Did you see it this weekend?
They
actually tossed him a mouse.
Like,
my wife was like, "Oh my God!" I was like, "What do you think they eat?"
It's so cool.
I think it's great.
That is one of the coolest things
in
college football.
I can't figure out what their mascot is, but I love that bird.
It'd be better if the mouse was live, by the way.
Yeah, right.
That mouse clearly isn't. Or
yeah,
at least
it
it's
was
been
floppy.
Stunned.
It was floppy.
Because my wife was like, that thing had a tail. I think they fed it a mouse. I'm like, they did feed it a mouse.
That's what they eat. That's what they eat,
yes.
Sweet girl. But not an Auburn fan either. Love that tradition.
So
it is
cool.
Amazing. Maybe they should just drop the tiger thing and go with the eagle thing. I mean,
why not?
That adds up.
Plenty of tigers out there.
That tracks. That makes sense to me. But
not many war eagles.
It's probably not what we'll do. Los, it's good to hear people talking your language finally with Color Revolution. You've been saying that for, 4 years. And all of a sudden, you see it popping up on social media. You see it popping up on, even some mainstream outlets were using it.
I think it's important to recognize when it's going on. And it's been slow.
You have to.
It's been slow. People have been seeing what has been on network news, and they're thinking, oh my God, like, what is going on in this country? And it's very simple. It's an op. All right, we told you from the minute that the show started yesterday, here is the operation that's currently being conducted. And why do you have ops that are done by the Democrats? Well, first off, they always want to damage the administration. They're always trying, which is silly. I've told you this many times before. They're trying to separate Trump from his voters, trying to see if they can do a little damage to him. But also, you're trying to create a scenario. Their overall goal is maybe if we can draw Trump off sides, he'll do something that ends up allowing us to get back into power more easily. Because as we've gone through the numbers, he is still the most popular president with his own party that we've had in 25 years.
They tried it last night. I saw it everywhere, and I flipped around to a couple of the mainstream outlets between Jeopardy commercials, and would hear war crimes. That's the other thing that they're trying. that's the way they're
right.
Absolutely. How do we draw him off sides? How do we find something and just drill down on it and try to convince somebody?
See, I would start, and I pointed this out on Twitter yesterday, when you're an enemy combatant, there is no such thing as war crimes.
That's right.
You are not uniformed personnel. Right. There is not one court in the world, whether it's by the Geneva Conventions or the International Court of Law, there is not one place where anything that has occurred is a war crime. Simple.
Exactly right.
Very simple.
It's straightforward.
Straightforward. If you're not uniformed personnel, if you are, then here's what you're entitled to, or else it's a war crime.
Right.
So that's now become the buzzword. War crime. War crime. Right. There's not one thing, not one opportunity war crime. In fact, all you've heard them do is say, well, this might be against the DOD's laws. The DOD doesn't make laws. The DOD has policy.
That's right.
Okay? So let's just clear these things up. But every now and then, somebody, in this case, you'll have Eric Schmidt, Republican from Missouri, he actually recognized what is going on. And finally, somebody on network television who's actually pretty well up in Congress is able to describe what is happening.
I will point out, though, Harris, one of the crazy things that happened over the weekend, the Democrats, elected Democrats, not some online troll, elected Democrats have been saying it's okay to disobey orders. That's the first step. But what we saw happen this weekend through some of those same elected officials was to say basically to military men and women, look out, you might get prosecuted. This is not the language of we'll beat them in the next election or we'll win the argument. This is the language of a color revolution where you're calling on military men and women to disobey orders, and you put that on top of the firebombing of Tesla dealerships, the riots you see in the streets, the prosecution of a political opponent. The Democrats have completely lost the plot here, and the American people, I think, see that. But it's a very dangerous road to go down here to say you should be disobeying orders because we don't like Trump.
Take your crazy Aunt Peg and just mentally put her off to the side. She's nuts. They're nuts. Here's their next operation. Nothing that has occurred is illegal. And yet, there's their buzz because they're trying to create a color revolution where you question your own government.
They have nothing else. So, of course, they're going to do this. And this is what they're wired to do. It's what they've always done. Look at everything that led up to where we are now. It all tracks. It's all the exact same operation.
And then as we continue this whole CIA, especially when it comes NGO type of operation.
Oh, my God.
And then you have somebody who was CIA-backed in Afghanistan going after our soldiers in D.C. All right, this all tracks the same way. This is all about creating a scenario, then fulfilling the scenario, and then looking at the American people and say, see, we told you it's violence. Violence is coming.
The Seditious Six, perfect example of it, right? They say that. They say all this stuff. They already knew the boat thing.
They backfilled it.
Exactly right. Nailed it again. So easy. They're easy to figure out. Once you know what to look for, they're easy to figure out. 6 o'clock hour is brought to you by Subaru of Gwinnett. When we come back, our success is our biggest enemy. Next on Story Time with Front Office Los.
Support the advertisers and partners that share your values. Give our extra advertisers the first shot to earn your business. They will deliver for you every time and support the extra community like no one else. Connect with all of our partners online at extra1063.com.
Hi, it's Los, here with Tom Mitchell, the honest car guy. Tom, you are changing the way people are buying their next pre-owned car or truck. How are you doing it?
You know, Los, we found a better way for customers to buy a car. An honest way, a very transparent way. You pay what we pay plus our honest fee.
How do you prove that?
We even prove it to you by giving you a copy of the bill of sale at the end of the deal.
How much can people save when they buy their next vehicle with the honest car guy?
I've saved people upwards of $20,000 and $30,000. I mean, it really depends on the year, the make, the model of the car, and the price of the car. You know, on a $15,000 car, I can't save you $20,000. We can probably save you $2,000 or $3,000. But it's through the course of the whole sale. The big one here that people don't realize, the financing. You go into the dealership, they tell you your rate's 9%. Well, really, it's probably 7% because they're allowed to make 2 points on there. The honest car guy, you'll save an average of $5,000 to $10,000 depending on the price of the car.
Folks, if you want to save thousands on your next pre-owned car or truck, try the honest car guy. Call 844-SHOW-ME-1. That's 844-SHOW-ME, the number 1, or honestcarguy.com.
A company that has been trusted in Atlanta for over 25 years has already done their hometown homework, like having the very best people, fair, honest pricing, exceptional customer service, and a focus on high-quality work. That's us. Hi, I'm Dan Watkins, owner of All Four Seasons Garage, Entry Doors, and Windows. Sometimes new isn't better, like out-of-town home improvement companies invading Atlanta with their inflated pricing and subpar work. When trust matters, trust us. All the number 4 Seasons Garages.
I know that hiring can be challenging. You need someone to match your role perfectly. Well, now you can meet them fast. on ZipRecruiter.
Build your team, build it sooner. Meet your match on ZipRecruiter.
Just head to ZipRecruiter.com/free right now to try it for free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Meet your match on ZipRecruiter. Try it free.
Attention extra listeners. The end of the year is closing in. Are your retirement plans ready? We at Master Plan Retirement Consultants are holistic retirement planners, including income and growth planning, tax strategies, and estate and legacy planning. Each piece of the retirement puzzle must fit together cohesively because we know a change in one area can inevitably affect the others. Our boutique team serves you with fiduciary care, ensuring every step moves you closer to a confident, sustainable retirement. Don't wait. There's still time to adjust your plan before year end. Schedule your complimentary consultation now at masterplanretire.com. Master Plan Retirement Consultants. Plan well and prosper.
Advisory services offered through Master Plan Retirement Consultants, Inc., a registered investment advisory in the state of Georgia. Insurance, tax, and commodity services offered through Fricks & Associates, Inc., DBA Master Plan Retirement Consultants. The aforementioned are affiliated companies.
You and your buddy. You've been through a lot with each other. The ups and the downs. He's been with you every morning, noon, and night. You've traveled the world together. Heck, he was even with you on your first big date. But have you noticed he's struggling lately? Not performing on the job. He can't even stand up straight anymore. He's wanting to cry out for help, but just doesn't know how. He needs Dr. Deal and Total Body Therapy of Georgia. They can give him the gift of good posture this year. Help him stand proud and become all he was meant to be. Now, take him by the hand. Look him in the eye and say, I appreciate you, little fella. And we're going to get you some help. We're going to call 404-777-1911. We're going to visit stopmyed.com. We are going to say goodbye to erectile dysfunction forever. Total Body Therapy of Georgia. It's a hard conversation to have, but it's one worth having. Total Body Therapy of Georgia. Online at stopmyed.com.
Jingle bells, jingle all the way.
Nick, what are you doing?
Well, Adam, Thanksgiving is over, so it's officially time for the holidays.
And it's time for our Legacy Box Cyber Monday sale. Legacy Box is the most meaningful gift you can give this holiday season. It's simple, safe, and has been trusted by millions.
That's right. It's our best sale of the year. Right now, when you go to LegacyBox.com, you can save an unreal 65% on your Legacy Box.
And for a limited time, you can preserve your tapes, film reels, and photos for as low as $27, saving you hundreds.
Hurry, our best sale of the year won't last long. Visit LegacyBox.com for an unreal 65% off during our Cyber Week sale. With limited quantities ready to ship, this deal will go fast.
Shop our Cyber Week sale now at LegacyBox.com/records to take 65% off. Buy your Legacy Box today and send in when you're ready. LegacyBox.com/records.
The stories that matter to you. These are your Georgia headlines.
It's Tuesday, December 2nd. The Georgia Lottery announced a major milestone, passing $30 billion in funds raised for Georgia education programs like pre-K and the Hope Scholarship. Governor Kemp praised the lottery, pointing out that 2.2 million children have taken advantage of free pre-K, and another 2 million students have attended college with the Hope Scholarship since the lottery's founding in 1993. A fundraising effort is underway in Hiram after a fire broke out on Thanksgiving Day at a Hiram police officer's home. Paulding fire officials responded with multiple units, but strong winds made the fire especially difficult to put out. Officials say the home is a total loss, but no other homes were damaged. The nonprofit group Paulding Public Safety Appreciation has started a fundraiser for the officer and his family. You can find a link to the fundraiser at the Hiram Police Department's Facebook page. And one Atlanta zip code has been ranked among the top 10 places to move in the country. The hottest zip codes report by Moving Place ranked zip code 30346 number 9, citing its proximity to the city, major office parks, and access to high-end shopping. Today's weather mostly cloudy and wet with highs in the upper 40s. With your headlines, I'm Jerry Payne for Extra 106.3.
I know the kids are out of school right now, but that doesn't mean you have to take time off from learning. Get your pencil, get your piece of paper, get a notepad, get out your phone and open your notes, whatever you need to do. Get prepared to learn. It's story time.
Settle in and get comfortable, folks. It's story time with Uncle Los.
Thank you to Good Clean Chiré. Glad you're back, sir. Thank you to Good Strong Tug. I'm glad you're back as well. And thank you, America. Let's do this story time. If you want to read about this, you want a book that will have everybody kind of look at you very strangely. Maybe you're on MARTA, or maybe you're just at the pool, or maybe you just happen to be around your coworkers. You're just grabbing a little bit of lunch, and they're all, "Hey, what are you reading there?" Well, you can find Lee Allen Duckerton, and he wrote a book called Dr. Calhoun's Mousery.
What?
Like, what is Dr. Calhoun's Mousery? It's actually listed as the strange tale of a celebrated scientist, a rodent dystopia, and the future of humanity. This is one of those stories for story time where you always have people trying to draw parallels. I'm constantly doing that. When have we had moments in history that repeat or echo, and what does it mean for society? And what we're now seeing with the rise of AI is that I think we've all taken a little bit of a step back and saying, where exactly is society going? When we have this push from one side of the aisle towards communism, socialism, you have another push towards absolute freedom and nationalism. Where exactly are we going? And this is at least is a good study from the 1960s into the 1970s that kind of gives you an idea as to how does your society fall apart. So here's what Dr. Calhoun had. You have to go back to the 1960s and the 1970s. What he had was a study that started in 1968 called Universe 25. And what was this study? What he was trying to do was use mice as an example of what happens in culture. Now, what did Dr. Calhoun do with mice? Well, he actually created what he thought was going to be a perfect society. And as he puts it, mice will sometimes, in the medical field, like mice lie. That's one of the old languages. But it will sometimes be an indicator of what can go on, whether it's in medicine or whether it's in society. And so what did Dr. Calhoun do? He created a situation where he protected this group of mice from predators and disease. They were not tested with anything. They weren't plugged with anything. Wasn't like they were around a bunch of cats. Meow. And they were given an environment in which they would be living in 68 degrees, which for mice, that was ideal. He also provided them unlimited food, unlimited water, nesting materials, adequate space for projected maximum protection. So what did the mice have? Everything. Everything a mice would want. Everything they could possibly have, they had. And what occurred? Well, it started off with just a small amount of mice. It's 4 pairs of breeding mice. And quickly, as mice do, they started to breed and breed and breed and breed. Now, the argument of this has long been, well, this is what happens when there's too many people in society. That's the way that the sadists look at it, the global warmists look at it, the people that are really big into climate. But that's not really what the story is. The story is what happens to a society when it's too comfortable, when everything is set up for you. So, for instance, in phase 1, the first basically year of this, normal population growth with successful breeding and establishment of social hierarchies. Suddenly, the mice started deciding who was in charge and where you were going to fit in mice society. Over the next year, rapid population and expansion. Density increased, social pressures began to emerge. And what occurs over basically what ends up being the next 2 to 3 years is, remember, society, you have all the food, you have all the nesting, you have everything you could possibly want. You have all the protection. Easy life for a mouse, right? Well, those hierarchies became rigid. You had wretches that occurred. What they were considered was outcasts. And so even though some of the mice had all this food, some of them started turning on one another. It became a bigger deal to, well, let me eat that mouse. Wait a minute, you got all the food you want, you got all the water. Why are you doing that? Because it's time to eat the other one. Think about crime in our society. You've got all this, and we're always told by the left, well, like the mayor of Seattle, well, you don't know what that person's been through. They might have been arrested 6 or 7 times. They might have been trying to get bread for their family like it's Les Mis. Or maybe they're just one of the outcast wretched, as in we found with this mouse study. Now, what else occurred? You also had then male mice that were treated. They decided, well, they can just groom themselves all day and they won't breed. What do we have with, whether it's by choice or not, the incels in our society, the young men who have decided, I'm not dating, I'm not marrying, I'm just going
to sit in the basement and play video games.
I'm just going to play my video games and I'm going to watch Instagram, and this is what I'm going to do. What also happened to the women in this society? The female mice then became violent towards their children. What do we have going on in society today? Not only a lack of childbirth, but then a rise in the amount of in-home violence that we see with some of these mothers, especially young, uneducated mothers that are part of this. So here's ultimately what occurred with this study. By the time they got to day 600 and onward, so we're now 2 years solid into this, population collapses and never recovers. Extinction occurred on day 1588. So they still basically had this run of like 3 years, but all of the norms of mouse society were gone. There were no longer the structure of the society. They were no longer breeding to the level that they were supposed to be. They were no longer creating a society that was going to flourish. It died out. The last mouse died out on day 1,588. And so this study, as much as some people want to say, well, look, it was overcrowding. No, this study was about comfort and what comfort deals out. And what comfort deals out, in many cases in humanity, is destruction. That's the problem. That's the area that we're teetering on of, we have this level of comfort, yet there are forces that just by human nature don't want to be comfortable. They can't be. They become self-destructive in this way. You talked about the numbers, 51% of Democrats that want socialism. Why? Because the world is too comfortable in a one-bedroom apartment with a PlayStation 5 and a cell phone and all the food that you can get from the government. They want a different level of life, and what it leads to is destruction. That's what Dr. Calhoun is basically pointing out to you. It's not about overcrowding. It's about what happens when a society is so comfortable that this is what they do.
Our own success has been our biggest enemy.
Yes.
And it's funny I wrote down as you were telling the story, and I hate to take it back to football. But
I love when you do it with football. It makes it even easier to understand.
But I heard Kirby Smart 2 weeks ago. He said, choosing easy. If you choosing easy, hard will find you. And it's almost what that is.
Yes.
Those mice were given the easiest life that they could possibly have. And what happened? Hard found them. And it's almost like strong men create good times create soft men create poor times or hard times.
So in Dr. Calhoun's study, he had what he called the beautiful mice. You're like, well, what is the beautiful mice? Well, these weren't the working class version of mice. They were a certain level of mice that they had chosen comfort above all. And as it notes, these were males who withdrew, and as far as spending time around really any other mice, all they would do is groom themselves, eat, and sleep. And so by the time danger came for them, they didn't fight back. They didn't know how.
Because, they had never faced adversity. So there was no understanding of how to defend themselves, protect themselves.
There was no mouse instinct. Yet, one of the great points that I heard made on the Joe Rogan podcast, I'm trying to remember the guest that he had, and he was talking about how right now society is basically having this fight between safe spaces and octagons. It's like, you choose which one you want. Or do you choose to be a fighter? Do you choose to, not octagon in the sense of like, now you got to beat people up, but it's, you choose to put a helmet on, go to work and do your stuff?
Yeah.
Or do you choose to be the beautiful mouse? Do you want the safe space? And
that'll last for just a little while.
That'll last for just
1,500 days, maybe.
In fact, it will require men like Tug and Xtra, and sometimes myself, to make that space available for you. But eventually, we're not there to make it for you. It's left up to you, and you don't have the ability to do anything about it. You can't protect it. You don't know how to handle it.
Think about our World War II generation.
As they die out.
And what's happening in the United States of America right now.
We have an entire culture of beautiful mice. Especially, and this is where we saw the difference in what happened with Trump 2024. The amount of men that don't want to be beautiful mice. Whereas the left, that's all they want you to be. Be the beautiful mice. Be the beautiful mouse. Don't be masculine. Don't be the hunter, the provider, the protector. That suddenly makes you problematic to the society. No, the beautiful mouse, the male that just sleeps, eats, and grooms himself all day is the problem.
That's exactly right. And I would even liken it to going to college versus choosing a trade. Going to college, and that's the easy life. Going to class, you take notes, you listen to the professor, and you regurgitate what you've been taught. Or you go to a trade school and you learn how to wire up things. Maybe you shock yourself a time or two, but you learn how to wire up the house, and then that provides you an opportunity for the rest of your life, where now at this point, most people are saying college isn't even worth it anymore because of the debt you incur and the things that you don't learn how to do. It's the easy route versus the more difficult hands-on route.
Well, what I would point out is that the decision, and I remember being in arguments.
My son's in college, so but I want him to be able to work with his hands as soon as he's done, as we talked about with Dr. McCormick. I didn't mean to cut you off, but...
Well, no, but one of the arguments that I've had years ago was with a far leftist loon, and I point him out that way because looking back on it, I'm like, are you serious? Like, that's how crazy you were? I'm sitting there arguing about, as he wants me to pay for his health care. I'm like, I had to go find the position that pays for health care. I'm like, why have I chosen to make that a personal responsibility and you don't? Well, because he wanted to be the beautiful mouse. I was the one
who was willing to get your hands dirty.
Who was looking to get my hands dirty. And so, yeah, like we can always make college and trades, but some people just choose to take personal responsibility and some do not. And that's what Dr. Calhoun and his mouse study found, is that when there is a level of abundance, we become our own worst enemy because of stuff that we tolerate. If you have a beautiful mouse in your family, you better give him a little talking to. Because one of the things that I learned when I was watching Piers Morgan when he was on Surrounded, one guy was on there, and I ended up putting it down on Twitter, and he's sitting there talking about the benefits of the therapy he's gotten. Well, I talk to somebody all the time. I mean, wouldn't you benefit from this? And Piers Morgan's like, no, I don't think you understand. The goal is to not need that.
That's right.
It's like the goal is to not need therapy. The goal is that you are able to handle the trials and tribulations of life, that you don't have to go speak to somebody. Now, I get it. There are people that deal with a whole lot of stuff. They find some comfort in it. Good.
But it's not for everybody. It's not meant to be for the entire population.
The goal is to not need
That's right.
to have to do that. That you can handle what life is better than what you did the day before, where you don't need such things. But they want you to be a beautiful mouse, where you need all this stuff. Don't be a beautiful mouse.
Ever.
That is Story Time with Front Office Los. One of the best segments that we do each week here on Extra 106.3. If you missed it, go back and listen to it on the Extra 106.3 app. It is always available there for you. And we are glad that you're here this morning with us on Extra 106.3. So when we come back, the warning is finally on the box where it should have been the whole time. Next on Extra.
The latest sports news, powered by 680 The Fan, and driven to Extra listeners by RBM of Atlanta in Sandy Springs, Atlanta's Mercedes-Benz connection since 1964.
Good morning. Here are your sports headlines for Tuesday, December 2nd. The Atlanta Hawks dropped the second game of their back-to-back to the Detroit Pistons in Detroit last night, 99-98 the final. The Hawks are off tonight. They are back at home on Wednesday night as they will play the LA Clippers. From college football, it's now all official. Former Ole Miss coach Lane Kiffin is now officially the new coach over at LSU. He gets a 7-year deal worth $91 million. University of Kentucky, they also have a new coach after firing Mark Stoops. They have hired Oregon offensive coordinator Will Stein as their next head coach. With your sports headlines, I'm Carlos Medina.
So they've extended this offer through at least the 15th. I hope they extend it through the end of the year. That way, in case you're ready to make that change in your home to keep the house just as perfectly comfortable as it could possibly be. I'm talking about Central Heating and Air Conditioning, Chuck and his team. They've put together this perfect offer for you. Limited time, you can get up to $2,100 in rebates and 60 months 0% financing with approved credit. You get both, up to $2,100 in rebates and 60 months 0% financing with approved credit for a brand new Carrier system. And you know, when you get
and work with Central. They deliver dependability, so does Carrier. Efficiency, so does Carrier. And the comfort that you and your family deserve. So Central and Carrier working perfectly together. Turn to the Carrier experts at Central Heating and Air Conditioning and get this great deal today. Make your house a perfect sanctuary. 770-GET-HEAT, centralheat.com.
Jaron Solomon here, and every year there's a new phone, a new tablet, a new trend, but some things never lose their value or their sparkle. This Christmas, make it unforgettable at Solomon Brothers Jewelers. You'll find gifts that sparkle as bright as the season, from our famous diamond studs to timeless tennis bracelets and trendy yellow gold necklaces starting at $9.99. It seems like every year everything gets more expensive, except here. Our holiday gift guides make it easy to find the perfect piece, and with our low price guarantee and flexible financing, luxury has never been more accessible. This holiday season, choose timeless over temporary. Choose jewelry. Visit SolomonBrothers.com to explore the gift guides or book your private appointment today to further customize your shopping experience. Solomon Brothers, Atlanta's trusted Christmas destination for over 40 years.
Atlanta Braves single game tickets for the 2026 season are now on sale. Get your tickets for some exciting matchups next season and check out some fan favorite ticket packages like Hello Kitty, SpongeBob, Snoopy, and Father's Day Catch on the Field. Plus, snag the first giveaway of the season, the Drake Baldwin Rookie of the Year bobblehead on March 31st, presented by Coca-Cola. Visit Braves.com/promos to get your tickets. Atlanta Braves baseball, we are Braves country.
I enjoy a good night's sleep, and I like to breathe while I'm sleeping. My wife appreciates that, too. That's why I wear a CPAP. You want the right machine. You want expert advice. You want all the supplies that go with it. You get it all at CPAPs, etc. in Alpharetta. Machines, masks, tubing, filters, cleaning supplies, all of it, and they ship nationwide. Walk-ins, by the way, are welcome. CPAPs, etc. Alpharetta, CPAPSETC.com.
Hey Braves fans, some things just get better with time, like your love for the Braves and banking with Truist One Checking. It's checking for life, offering everyday essentials like no overdraft fees and a tap-to-pay debit card, and great extras you'll appreciate season after season, like automatic upgrades as your balances grow. Be ready every inning with Truist One Checking. It's life-ready checking that grows with you. Get Truist One Checking today. Truist Bank. Member FDIC.
Hey, this is John Flading, the owner of ATL Turf Co. If your grass didn't grow this summer, there's a good chance it won't grow this spring. It's time to think about a custom, low-maintenance, pet-friendly, artificial lawn that will stay green year-round. So this holiday season, give the gift that keeps on giving. A perfect backyard or custom golf green from ATL Turf Co. See what's possible for your home. Read our 5-star reviews and book your appointment today at atlturfco.com. Spots are filling up fast, so call now, 404-825-7063.
Thousands of veterans across Georgia are missing out on the benefits they've earned through their service. The Warrior Alliance is changing that by connecting veterans and their families to life-changing resources and support. Tune into the Warrior Alliance Network, our podcast and radio show dedicated to helping veterans succeed after service. Join us every Saturday at 11 a.m. on 106.3 to hear inspiring veteran stories, discover free programs, and learn about career opportunities available to you. Subscribe to the Warrior Alliance YouTube channel today.
The holiday season is here, but drinking and driving is no reason to cheer. That's because drunk driving is a factor in 1 out of 4 traffic deaths in Georgia. Preventing drunk driving deaths is very easy. Just hand the keys to a sober driver. Those who make the wrong decision to drink and drive may find themselves in the backseat of a patrol car because Georgia law enforcement officers do not give warnings to drunk drivers. They take them to jail. The Governor's Office of Highway Safety asks everyone to make the holidays an everyday merrier by driving sober so they won't have to pull you over.
Georgia politicians, if you want to win your election, the path to victory runs through Extra 106.3. Extra listeners are some of the most engaged, active in their communities, and outspoken on their beliefs, especially when it comes time to vote. So now's the time to get involved before our listeners move on to someone else. Tell the candidate you're voting for that if they want to win, the path to victory runs through Extra 106.3 FM and the Extra 106.3 app.
Oh, Lord, Los.
I'm glad that I was able to show you this.
And poor Jackson Dart standing there going, did I just see what I thought I'd see?
So if you haven't seen what happened to former Atlanta Falcon Younghoe Koo last night, the kicker who was released by the Falcons during the year, caught on to the practice squad of the Giants. The New York Giants were thinking, it's a former Pro Bowler. Maybe he'll figure it out here. He did something that I've never seen in an NFL game. Like, if you imagine, if you play a lot of golf, you know you've had that moment where you take out the driver. Maybe you've been drinking. Maybe you haven't.
Most likely you have.
And when you swing that driver, it hits the grass right before it ever gets to the ball, and you realize that's embarrassing.
Yeah.
Younghoe Koo kicked the ground before he even got to the ball. He never got to the ball.
Dude, it looks like it looks like he breaks his ankle. I mean, that looks like it hurt.
He never
like
got to the football as he kicked the ground.
Good Lord.
Have you seen this, Jerry?
Oh, yeah. I saw it last night just before I was going. I wasn't watching the game, but I just saw the clip, and
yeah, I'm sure that thing blew up.
Oh, yeah. I mean,
yes.
Los had his toe incident, kicked the wall a few months ago. I fell down the stairs. Yep. Yeah. It still ain't right.
Kicked the ground and never got to the football.
Well, how did that? Was that a turning point in the game?
No, they were getting whooped.
Okay, so
but it was a matter of all right, see if we can hang around. Let's put some points on the board.
Yeah.
And to hear Troy Aikman on the call, who, let's face it, Troy Aikman, who played at Oklahoma, played at UCLA, played his decade in the NFL, has been the number one analyst as part of the broadcast team for now 20 years.
20 years, yeah.
He's like, I've never seen that before.
Yeah. I don't think
Troy Aikman told you I've never seen that before.
Yeah. Well, in Jackson Dart's face. And he was like, what the hell?
He's like, I've never seen anything like that before.
Dude, his face is priceless. What the hell is this?
I mean, it's worse than a running back just fumbling a simple handoff. Yeah. This is something
it's way worse.
But that happens.
Because that happens. This is never happened.
I've never seen a kicker unable to kick the football. Like, he never got to the football.
Sure did kick the ground.
You're a kicker of the football, yet you don't kick the football. You do kick the ground.
He didn't slip on his planting foot or anything.
No.
He just kicked the ground in front of the football.
Pride of Georgia Southern. Well, that's a tough day.
He said that might, as I said on X last night, I'm like, that might be the end of that.
Yeah, I feel
it's tough to live that one down.
I feel bad for that film. What else could you possibly do? I mean, is he going to be an insurance salesman? I mean, like, what's next for
listen, he's been in the league for good 7 or 8 years.
Yeah, but I mean, ain't nobody's gonna. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. What's next for Younghoe Koo?
I don't know. I mean, I'm just saying, you got a head start on everybody.
Yeah, no, absolutely. You made money, dude.
You're good.
Absolutely, you're good to go.
You'll figure it out for a while.
Again, my friend's an insurance salesman. I have no issue with that, but I'm saying you've got to find something new because you can't do that anymore.
Ditch digger?
Maybe. Or nothing. Maybe you got enough money, you just stay home. You don't do anything.
Got a hell of a way to... I got this new idea on how we're going to put some holes in the ground.
That's right. I'm going to
kick our way.
I'm going to kick down to the bottom.
By the way, he studied logistics in intermodal transportation. I'm sure he'll be fine.
Oh, he's going to be just fine.
Listen, he's a sharp dude.
Yeah.
He played in the league for like a decade. He just kicked the ground, and now it's over.
And now it's done.
Boots and packages across the country.
That's right. It's over, though. You don't bounce back from that. I don't think there's any coming back. It's like the Crow back in the day. You don't come back.
Nobody comes from back.
You don't come back.
Ain't no coming back.
Ain't no coming back.
I know that they're used to kicking balls, but if you kick the ground like that how's he not injured? How do you not break your toe like that?
I don't know, but
magic.
Yeah, I don't know.
It's embarrassing magic.
Were they in New York?
They're in Foxborough.
They were okay.
Okay.
Lord. So at least that wasn't turf.
Poor fellow.
No, it's turf.
Is it in Foxborough? Okay.
Yeah, that's bad.
Ouch.
Quickly, Los, you've talked about this a bazillion times, how the box didn't have the actual warning that it was supposed to have. And now, all of a sudden, magically, there it is.
This is both progress and ridiculous.
It can be both at the same time.
It can be both at the same time.
That's right.
I want you to understand, when we had the Maha movement, which is still going on.
I love it,
It's
dude. I think it's
done
great.
some good things.
I think it's great.
What did we always ask for? Information.
Yeah. Let us make good decisions.
Let us make good decisions with information. Now, right now, you have 5 vaccines that have now received black box warnings. Now, what's a black box warning? It's basically a box warning. if you take this, this can happen to you. It's on the box. And for instance, if you want to take Shingrix, that's one particular vaccine that's out there.
I don't believe I want to do that.
Well, it lets you know that there's a neurological disorder you could get from it.
I definitely don't want to do that.
Now, that was added in 2021. Recognize that the other 4 vaccines that have black box warnings all got them in June of 2025. Two of them were COVID vaccines.
So they're finally like, hey, let's just put it.
Listen, let's put these warnings on this.
Let's save ourselves some money.
What is now happening is you're going to have the Modernas and the Pfizers of the world for their regular COVID vaccines get black box warnings, which, by the way, is ridiculous to have something like Could you imagine, would you ever take a flu vaccine if it told you, hey, it could cause neurological damage?
No, of course not. But that's why it should have been on there for so much longer.
Progress and ridiculous.
At the exact same time.
It's both at the same time.
And it should drive you crazy because there's going to be liberals, there's going to be Democrats that are still going to take it just out of obedience.
Spikevax, which is a Moderna product, added in June of 2025, letting you know there's a risk of myocarditis and pericarditis, especially in males 16 to 25. We're just asking for info.
But again, think about the libs and Dems that are still going to take it. Doesn't matter. Because they'll put their fingers in their ears. They'll be wearing their masks. They'll be still getting their shots. And acting like that doesn't even exist.
Appreciate the info. Yeah. Thank you. That's informed consent. At the same time, a yearly vaccine should not have a black box warning on it.
When we come back, Carolyn Levitt blows up the immigrants are just like our grandparents narrative. Next on Xtra 106.3.
Neil Bortz is only live on Xtra 106.3, bringing you daily commentary on the biggest topics of the day. Catch him throughout the day or hear his latest on the Xtra 106.3 app.
True Prep is your one-stop shop for emergency preparedness supplies, including freeze-dried food, water filtration, first aid, and more. They also have a large selection of firearms, including a huge selection of AR-15s, firearm accessories, and ammo at the lowest prices around. True Prep is locally owned and operated. The owners, Joey and Matthew, are Georgia Tech grads. Visit their store in Marietta on Cobb Parkway or online at trueprep.com. That's TRUprep.com. Prepare today for a worry-free tomorrow at True Prep.
Faith, family, freedom. These are the cornerstones of America and the foundation for a successful life. But today, all 3 are under attack. Crushing debt, out-of-control spending, and reckless policies in Washington are threatening your savings, your retirement, and your future. Hi, this is Glenn Beck. The only financial advisory firm I recommend in Atlanta is Nicholas Wealth Management. David Nicholas and his team believe protecting your money is about more than wealth. It's about defending your faith, your family, and your freedom. If your hard-earned retirement is left exposed to market chaos, higher taxes, or inflation, what happens to the life you've worked so hard to build? For over 20 years, David Nicholas has helped families right here in Atlanta fight back with retirement strategies built to better withstand uncertainty. Call Nicholas Wealth Management today, 404-890-5606, or visit nicholaswealth.com. Aim to safeguard your future today.
Nicholas Wealth is an independent financial services firm that uses a variety of different investment strategies. Join Daniel Madelon, CEO of A Second Chance Bail Bonds, and co-host Tug Cowart as they bring together law enforcement, justice insiders, and voices from every part of the justice system, victims, advocates, and people who've turned their lives around. It's not PR, it's not fluff. It's an honest talk about what's working, what's broken, and how to build a better path forward, one second chance at a time. This week's guest is partner at Ross & Pines, one of Atlanta's leading criminal defense firms, Noah Pines. Justice Unfiltered. Unfiltered, informed, and unbiased.
It's midnight and the phone rings. It's a loved one calling from jail. They had a little too much fun at the holiday party and got pulled over. Now what? Time to call A Second Chance Bail Bonds. A Second Chance will get your loved one home quickly. For 20 years, they've been helping and are available 24/7. For fast, professional, discreet services, call 404-BAILOUT. That's 404-BAILOUT or visit atlbail.com. A Second Chance Bail Bonds. It's better to know us and not need us than need us and not know us.
I am Michael Green, chef and third-generation owner of Matthew's Cafeteria, located on Main Street in historic downtown Tucker, Georgia. We have been serving Southern comfort favorites since my grandparents opened the doors in 1955. 70 years later, Matthew's is still preparing those same recipes. Come in today, grab a tray and sit down to award-winning fried chicken, turkey and dressing, hand-peeled mashed potatoes, and made-from-scratch biscuits, pies, and cobblers. Serving breakfast, lunch, and dinner 6 days a week. Come and see us today and experience the Matthews way.
Streaming across Georgia on the Extra 106.3 app. This is WFOM and W292EV Marietta, a Dickey Broadcasting Station. Extra 106.3.
President Trump will meet with his cabinet today. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News. After gathering with his national security team last night, discussing the U.S. military operation off Venezuela's coast, blowing up boats suspected of trafficking illegal drugs, killing more than 80 people the Trump administration calls narco-terrorists, and what happened with one boat has members of Congress demanding more answers.
Secretary Hegseth writes on social media, Admiral Mitch Bradley is an American hero, a true professional, and has my 100% support. I stand by him and the combat decisions he has made on the December 2nd mission and all others since. White House spokeswoman Caroline Leavitt confirms a second strike on a suspected drug boat from Venezuela that day, but not reports that it was meant to kill 2 survivors of the first strike.
Secretary Hegseth authorized Admiral Bradley to conduct these kinetic strikes.
She rejects the Washington Post reporting that Secretary Hegseth ordered that everyone on the boat be killed and denies allegations the second strike could be considered a war crime.
That's Fox's Chris Foster. Signs of improvement for National Guard member Andrew Wolf, who remains in serious condition after being shot last week on patrol in Washington. He gave nurses a thumbs up, and
we were told that he also wiggled his toes. So we take that as a positive sign.
West Virginia Governor Patrick Morrisey, the other Guard member shot, died on Thanksgiving. The suspected gunman is an Afghan national still hospitalized after being shot and returned fire. The polls will open later this morning in Tennessee for a special election to fill a vacant seat in Congress.
I'm going into election night with an open heart and, hoping the hard work pays off.
That's Democrat Afton Bain, hoping to pull off an upset in a House district President Trump won by 22% last year. A Republican challenger, Matt Van Epps, just told Fox.
She's been endorsed by the Democratic Socialists of America. She supported Mamdani in New York City. And these are policies that will skyrocket our cost of living and will not be good for Tennessee or for America.
Well, this will be a wintry day from Indiana to North Carolina up to New England. Some areas could get close to a foot of snow. America's listening to Fox News.
So Pure Talk is offering unlimited talk, text, and data on a crazy fast 5G network for just $29.95 a month for life. Not your phone's life, your life. This top-tier plan is normally $65 a month, but if you switch today, you'll save over 50% every month for the rest of your life. You might say it's the deal of your lifetime. Just dial pound 250, say Mike Rowe. Offer expires 12/7. Some restrictions apply. Details at puretalk.com.
Message from Medicare.
Couple more minutes and we'll start this month's book club.
You know, I usually love a plot twist, but this year I'm comparing my options during Medicare open enrollment.
You can't assume your current health or drug plan is the best one for you.
And you gotta make sure your drugs are covered. That's important.
So is saving money.
Review all your options at Medicare.gov. Open enrollment ends December 7th. Paid for by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services.
No traffic, no big deal. It's the Morning Extra on 106.3.
Tug and Los until 10 on the Morning Extra on Extra 106.3. We're getting some chuckles this morning. I bet you've probably had a few chuckles at the whole Lane Kiffin being hired at Ole Miss, or being hired at LSU away from Ole Miss.
$91 million.
Not a bad payday.
After you had the governor of the state of Louisiana say, we're not doing this ever again. Yeah, Lane got a bigger contract with an even bigger buyout.
And what was the distance? What was the time between
4 days between getting things done with Brian Kelly, where they tried to come up with a way that they didn't owe him the rest of the money.
Yeah.
And then by Monday, when they recognized there's no way we're going to have to pay him all this money,
we fired you without cause.
And then 4 days later, they basically have the deal with Lane.
Isn't that the politician thing to do, though? It doesn't matter what your politics.
Try and plug yourself in. Listen, I'm trying to defend the money of the state.
But that's the point. It doesn't matter, man. Republicans do it. Democrats do it. We are never going to do that again. 4 days later. Well, yeah, all right, Lane Kiffin a check. We want LSU to win, don't we?
I mean, $91 million, not that big a deal. I mean, the Somalis are stealing billions in Minnesota. What's the big deal?
Who cares?
It's fine.
Nobody paid attention up there.
It's a drop in the bucket.
They've known it for years. They knew it for 5 years. They stole $1 billion. That's nothing.
What's Lane going to get away with? $50 million if it doesn't work out? That's fine.
They got $1 billion and are financing terror operations. This is just football.
I was getting a kick out of a former Braves reporter in Kelsey Wingert, who was pointing out how she listened. I believe she is an LSU grad, but she pointed out how Lane, how he came across in his press conference, which, by the way, he was 34 minutes late for. Whatever, I'm just saying.
Yeah,
it's on Lane time, man. Listen, I know what you are, and I celebrate it. I'm like, he's about him, and that's fine. I like the black hat in sports. So, as she points it out, he comes across as really respecting the program, and you can hear the hurt in his voice about leaving Ole Miss. I said, Ted Bundy had the same kind of powers.
He could convince
the sociopath that you go, he's got a heart of gold.
Man, look at that Ted.
Until he gets you alone.
Don't you like hanging out with Ted? We should go get more drinks with Ted.
I mean, you had judges that flat out told Ted Bundy, had you chosen a different path in life, you'd been a pretty good trial attorney.
Yeah.
So you're studying the law.
Yeah. You're a very smart man.
Yeah.
Had you used it for good, not had the black hat on in this instance.
Instead of being a total sociopath. Now, Lane doesn't kill people.
No.
But he kills programs. He kills hearts.
He does break hearts.
He does break hearts.
They showed up at the airport. We talked about this yesterday. I don't have time to show up at the airport just to flip off coach. I don't. I mean, maybe people do. I don't. But is there anything that you would show up for just to flip somebody off? Because I can't think of anything.
I can only think of one time I've actually gone to an airport. It was when I was maybe like 12 or 13, and the Spurs were coming back from a playoff series.
Okay.
And, we drove up to just kind of clap for the plane.
Yeah, it's cool.
That was but again, cool. I was 12 or 13
cool.
years old.
Yeah, now you got a family. You got
too busy for that stuff.
Yeah, right? I just was blown away at how the folks at Ole Miss just couldn't wait to. I don't know how many people were there, but it looked like 10, 15, 20, 30, maybe 50. I don't know.
I just loved Marty Smith from ESPN. I mean, he was camped out down there for days, and he had this giant Sprinter van that they had given him. He had his whole crew piled in trying to get that interview. He's chasing the plane down the tarmac, basically.
My God. Poor Marty Smith.
Can I say I'm not a fan? Is that terrible to say about Marty Smith? I'm just not a fan.
What's wrong with Marty Smith?
I don't know. He just doesn't do it for me. I don't know.
Okay, I like Marty Smith, but I also do not care for what ESPN does, ESPN Radio. So ESPN makes it a point to give you Southern deep fried radio. But
from two libs.
When they do Marty and McGee.
From two libs.
And it's all like, oh, shucks, let's talk NASCAR and Southern college sports. And they serve it up as, well, listen, we're taking care of this audience with Marty and McGee.
Yeah. I think that's why I don't like those two characters, because they come off as
they're playing a caricature of what they believe their audience is.
Thank you.
I know, and I have the same issue with it as well.
I struggle with it.
Like you and I would do better Southern radio.
I would think so,
because we're actually not playing characters.
That's right. Yeah.
Well, you should hear Tug as soon as we're out of here. He's like, well, I have been reviewing some of my taxes.
Yes, exactly.
I'm taking a look and calling my accountant, and I'm going to get to the bottom of this. And then when I call my butler, we're going to get to the bottom of what we've been paying him.
But let me tell you, those two do that. Those two do that.
They turn it on. They turn it on.
Dude, Jennifer Nettles, and I loved Sugarland, the band. She would tell you that she could turn her accent on and off.
I've heard her do it.
Yeah, when she's on Broadway, she sounds like she don't got no accent at all. And then when she needs to be Jennifer Nettles from Sugarland, she turns it right back on. She freely admits this, and I'm not upset with her by that, because I think she is who she is. So she's a real person.
What's my audience?
Yeah, that's right, and she knows how.
I'm not above this. I've told you what am I going to do, Tug, when you drop me off in Mexico and I have to wander into a saloon?
I am one of you.
I am one of you. Yes.
And then take out your revolvers.
When I get into San Antonio, I get into San Antonio, Texas. I get off the plane and I look around and I go, nah, for reals? I am one of you. Because I'm camouflaged at that point,
right.
and I'm in a safer environment.
You're a chameleon.
That's right. We'll play that game. Now, I'm not going to sound like Brian Kelly when he got hired at LSU.
Dude, that was the worst. That's when I knew it wasn't going
Me
to work.
and my family.
That's when I knew. Dude, I knew the moment that happened that was never going to work at LSU.
I feel like the man watched Forrest Gump on the way down.
But that's the way I feel about Marty McGee. It's the same thing.
I get it. You're playing a role.
Yeah, and it irritates me.
I just appreciate that he's a reporter and he doesn't wedge the politics in every chance he gets. I mean, it's still ESPN, but he does a good job as a reporter, and I think that's a rare thing these days. I appreciate him for that.
I think he's able to get into rooms as far as with certain coaches and get access.
Yeah.
And that, to me, that's the
good
value.
work, man.
The other stuff, for instance,
Don't humor me, though. That's the thing that irritates me.
I would like to pretend that when I go on the sports side and when I do that radio show, down the hall, that somebody's going to take about 90% of what I'm bringing up and going, okay, the fact that I don't agree with this politics, that's the other 10%. I can put that aside.
Yeah.
Because I like the content that he's bringing to the show. That's the way I feel about him.
Yeah. I would like to think most people are like that. My fear is most people are not like that. Most people are... They make their decision, and there's no winning. And look, I'm guilty of it too. I just threw myself under the bus about Marty McGee, right? I feel put off by them, and so I just don't pay attention to it. So I would like to think you're right, Los. I just don't know that you are on this one.
And I know that you're strong about this. I know that you even gave up Netflix.
I know, but I'm gonna have to.
But now we were talking about this. I started watching the Eddie Murphy documentary, Being Eddie.
I want to see because I love Eddie Murphy.
It's really good.
Yeah.
I'm 25, 30 minutes in. It's really good. It's really compelling. So when you come back, when you're forced to go, man, my wife has shows, and yes, I don't agree with this politically, but I'm going to bite the bullet and resubscribe.
God, I hate it. It burns.
I know.
God, it burns.
Listen, you and we made it a point. I didn't walk into a Target until 2 days ago for the first time in 4 years.
Yeah.
It was just, okay, it's on the way. I feel like they've capitulated.
Right.
I'm going into it. But you and I said, okay, here's what we're going to do.
That's right.
There are times when we have to hold our nose and say, man, it's only on Netflix.
And because I've not watched the NFL in a long time. But I don't hold my son to that standard. So guess what I watched on Sunday before he left to go back to college? We watched the Falcons lose. Ooh. Typically, I can watch that. I can just look at the score on my phone and I know. But no, I had to watch it. It was awful.
Before I send you to your happy place, let's be depressed together.
That's right, dude. And he just, complained and moaned and... I was like, why do you even watch this? You're miserable watching this. He was like, well, fantasy, and I love the Falcons and whatever. So all the other games, Thanksgiving Day, he's cheering for whomever players that he's got on his fantasy team, and he's screaming and hollering when they don't get enough touches or whatever it is to score points. Because I've never really played fantasy, I don't know, but I know he gets so into it. So I watch it with him because I want to spend time with him. I don't care about the politics of it. I want to spend time with him.
As I've gotten older, I've been able to have an emotional, I guess I would put it, separation from sports.
Church and state almost.
2016 is when it occurred, when I was able to say, you know what, I'm not going to let it dictate the rest of my week or how I feel or if I'm going to be upset.
I'm not that emotionally mature right yet.
But I get it. Your son, if he's following my track, has about 15, 20 years before he finally hits that point. Yeah. So I get it. I'm with you. I spent a lot of time where there might be something I might throw at the TV.
Yeah, right.
Eventually, I just said, this is silly.
Yeah, especially when your team loses. And is that because that's what you're talking about, right? When your team loses, it drives you crazy. You're ready to throw the TV off the wall.
My parents and I, when there would be a key Cowboy game and they'd lose, and again, they haven't won a Super Bowl in 30 years, so this is regular. We wouldn't talk to each other for 2 or 3 days.
You just have to get over it.
There's no reason to be that invested where you won't talk with your family.
It's funny you bring it up because my wife was, we were texting back and forth from the Georgia Tech game, and we're sitting there, and Jacob's like, I don't know, it's probably early third quarter, something like that, and he's like, we're going to lose this game. We're losing this game. And it was, I don't know if it's just a coping mechanism. You just say it to get it off your chest, and then you can watch the game for what it is. And then at some point,
he said it again. And so I text my wife. I was like, "Oh, Jacob's pulling an old Tug Cowart. Remember how I used to be?" She was like, "That's what I had to deal with early in our marriage. Right there, you're dealing with it right now."
January 2018 was the last time when Sony Michel lost the football in the Rose Bowl. Oklahoma takes it back for a touchdown. I had this discussion with myself and Brian Hoyt, who had gone on the trip. We were sitting in different sections, but we both had the exact same feeling. How am I going to explain paying for this after you lose?
After you lose.
That was the last time I had that. I'm like,
Valuable.
I refuse to go down that road of
Valuable.
Really? I just came out all the way to California and I spent this kind of money and my wife and I are here. How am I going to explain this now that Georgia's going to lose? Now they didn't, and that was the payoff, and now it's the greatest game I've probably ever been to. But that did hit the mind of what do you do?
And realistically, if you look at it, even had they lost, it would have still been the best game that you'd ever experienced.
Yeah.
That doesn't change. Now, the outcome and your team losing sucks. It does. But it doesn't change the fact that what an experience, the beauty of the Rose Bowl, like everything you've shared with me about that trip, I would love to experience that myself one day.
Some might say that we assimilated to this way of thinking.
Los, taking it back to politics. And I love that incredible ability.
Some might say we assimilated to this feeling.
Now, some people don't have to assimilate. Now, when asked about assimilation, and aren't these immigrants coming to the United States? Aren't they just like your grandparents? Carolyn Levitt says, no, they're not.
Said, and I quote, leaders also have a duty to preserve the integrity and character of our nation's national identity. Can you explain what you mean by our nation's national identity and integrity and character, and how would refugees, people coming from war-torn places who are seeking a safe haven in America, like many of our forebears in this room, not add to our nation's integrity and character of our national identity?
I'll tell you what does not add to our nation's character and integrity is refugees who come here under the alleged plight of asylum and fleeing persecution, and then come to the United States to abuse our system and rip off American taxpayers. And as I pointed out, the New York Times, to their credit, it was about 6 months too late, but they did write about how Somali immigrants in Minnesota have been ripping off American taxpayers. In fact, 86 people have been charged in a rampant and widespread fraud scheme spanning multiple programs in Minnesota. Of those 86, 78 of those people are Somali, 91% of them charged. So far, 59 of those people have been convicted for their roles in fraud plots that have stolen $1 billion from taxpayers.
And she goes on, and she just rips that dude a new one. And she's right to do so, because it's very different from people who wanted to come to the United States, and that's years ago, and be a part of the United States, be a part of this grand experiment that gives you freedom and opportunity, and you're appreciative of it. No, not like Somali pirates who come to the United States under the claim of asylum, as she mentioned. And if you read that article from the New York Times, Los, there's a professor at a local college there in Minnesota that said, well, you got to understand, stealing is just kind of part of our culture. It's just kind of what we do. And the Americans are so giving that it makes it easy to steal from them. It's just culture.
I'm not pointing this out and saying to take it lightly. There are such a thing as third worlders that are just dirty people.
Look at me. Sure. I'm the captain now.
So when I say this, I'll give you numbers to back it up. So when you have the autism claims, when it came to Medicaid in Minnesota, after the Somalis started opening up their own centers, now part of what they did is they said, well, this is cultural. This is why we're doing it, so it's ours. And that's why state officials backed off. They didn't want to appear as racist.
And they accused, and they said we're going to accuse you of racism.
If you come and try and investigate what we're doing, we're going to call it racist. The first year in 2018, they stole $3 million, or at least the claim was $3 million in Medicaid payments for children who had autism within their community. By the time we got to 2023, it was $399 million. They figured out the scheme.
It's why
$3 million to $399 million. Don't tell me that there's such a thing as, oh, third worlders, they're fine. They all just want to be here.
Mm-mm.
You're all going back home.
That's right.
Everyone is.
Everyone. But the problem is up there. Unless you're willing to go in and strip their naturalization, which I'm in favor of, because they have
Did you steal
babies.
money?
Yes.
See you later.
See you later. No, I'm all for it.
Yep.
But let me tell you, it's going to be tricky. It's going to be hard. It is going to. But are you willing to put in the work, the hard work that's coming to do just that? And I don't know that everybody has the stomach for it, like maybe you and I would.
Again, the polling numbers over 10 months haven't changed. And now that you have theft associated to this degree, not about $1 million. $1 billion.
Billion.
$399 million in 2023. $1 billion in total is what they stole.
Freaking crazy. I'm with you, dude. I am all for stripping the naturalization from anybody that was part of this, and maybe even some folks that weren't. I'm just tired. When you're out there saying death to America, you got to go. You got to go. Says the Morning Extra and Extra 106.3. When we come back, Neil Bortz, the only place you can get him, the one and only Talkmaster, Neil Bortz, is here on Extra 106.3.
Live and local news talk continues at 3 p.m. with Kimmer, Pete, and Flounder. It's the Kimmer Show, only on Extra 106.3 and the Extra app.
As a guy that's had a really bad experience with construction and remodeling inside your home, having a company that has one point of contact is the most valuable thing that you can have on that job site. And for them, it's that job site. For you, it's your home. The place that you cherish your biggest investment. The place you raise your kids and have dinner and Christmas and Thanksgiving. So it's valuable to you. So if you're tired of dealing with these huge companies where you call them, they put you on hold. You have to call 10 people to confirm what's happening or not happening that should be. You don't deal with that at Southern Exteriors. Every job gets its own dedicated project manager, not a sales rep, not a part-timer, not any of that. One expert, one number, start to finish. They know your project inside and out. They've been doing it for 10 plus years. They answer your calls right away. You don't get to run around. You don't get bounced around. You don't have to dig for the right number. One project, one manager, no stress. Siding, roofing, gutters, windows, doors, done right the first time. 877-9-SOUTHERN, southernexteriors.co, southernexteriors.co.
Attention extra listeners. The end of the year is closing in. Are your retirement plans ready? We at Master Plan Retirement Consultants are holistic retirement planners, including income and growth planning, tax strategies, and estate and legacy planning. Each piece of the retirement puzzle must fit together cohesively because we know a change in one area can inevitably affect the others. Our boutique team serves you with fiduciary care, ensuring every step moves you closer to a confident, sustainable retirement. Don't wait. There's still time to adjust your plan before year end. Schedule your complimentary consultation now at masterplanretire.com. Master Plan Retirement Consultants. Plan well and prosper.
Advisory services offered through Master Plan Retirement Consultants, Inc., a registered investment advisory in the state of Georgia. Insurance, tax, and commodity services offered through Fricks & Associates, Inc., DBA Master Plan Retirement Consultants. The aforementioned are affiliated companies.
While retinitis pigmentosa takes Mark's vision, his family gives him hope, whether at the family business or at home with his wife and sons. He knows he's not fighting alone. For 50 years, the Foundation Fighting Blindness has funded research into treatments and cures for blinding retinal diseases, providing hope to people with vision loss. And for Mark, winning the fight means being there for his family. The Foundation Fighting Blindness. Together, we're winning. Help us end blinding diseases at fightingblindness.org.
You should never need financing for a simple garage door repair, but it's happening here. Out-of-town companies have invaded Atlanta for a cash grab, charging outrageous prices. Hi, I'm Dan Watkins, owner of All Four Seasons Garage, Entry Doors, and Windows. Stay local and stay on budget for every opening of your home. All Four Seasons, trusted in Atlanta for over 25 years, exceptional customer service, and fair, honest pricing. When trust matters, trust us. All the number 4 seasonsgarages.com.
Hi, it's Los, here with Tom Mitchell, the Honest Car Guy. Tom, you are changing the way people are buying their next pre-owned car or truck. How are you doing it?
You know, Los, we found a better way for customers to buy a car. An honest way, a very transparent way. You pay what we pay plus our honest fee.
How do you prove that?
We even prove it to you by giving you a copy of the bill of sale at the end of the deal.
How much can people save when they buy their next vehicle with the Honest Car Guy?
I've saved people upwards of $20,000 and $30,000. I mean, it really depends on the year, the make, the model of the car, and the price of the car. You know, on a $15,000 car, I can't save you $20,000. We can probably save you $2,000 or $3,000. But it's through the course of the whole sale. The big one here that people don't realize, the financing. You go into the dealership, they tell you your rate's 9%. Well, really, it's probably 7% because they're allowed to make 2 points on there. The Honest Car Guy, you'll save an average of $5,000 to $10,000 depending on the price of the car.
Folks, if you want to save thousands on your next pre-owned car or truck, try the Honest Car Guy. Call 844-SHOW-ME-1. That's 844-SHOW-ME1 or honestcarguy.com.
Check off the wish list with instant savings and free battery offers on select steel tools. Shop online or in store.
The stories that matter to you. These are your Georgia headlines.
It's Tuesday, December 2nd. The Georgia Lottery announced a major milestone, passing $30 billion in funds raised for Georgia education programs like pre-K and the Hope Scholarship. Governor Kemp praised the lottery, pointing out that 2.2 million children have taken advantage of free pre-K, and another 2 million students have attended college with the Hope Scholarship since the lottery's founding in 1993. A fundraising effort is underway in Hiram after a fire broke out on Thanksgiving Day at a Hiram police officer's home. Paulding fire officials responded with multiple units, but strong winds made the fire especially difficult to put out. Officials say the home is a total loss, but no other homes were damaged. The nonprofit group Paulding Public Safety Appreciation has started a fundraiser for the officer and his family. You can find a link to the fundraiser at the Hiram Police Department's Facebook page. And one Atlanta zip code has been ranked among the top 10 places to move in the country. The hottest zip codes report by Moving Place ranked zip code 30346 number 9, citing its proximity to the city, major office parks, and access to high-end shopping. Today's weather mostly cloudy and wet with highs in the upper 40s. With your headlines, I'm Jerry Payne for Extra 106.3.
Tug and Los until 10 on the Morning Extra and Extra 106.3. So glad to be able to talk to Neil Mortz this morning. Neil,
There he is.
how are you?
I got nothing.
Oh, no.
Well, just out of the gate, nothing?
No, it was just about maybe 8 minutes ago that all of a sudden Donna tapped me on, hey, wake up. Aren't you on the air in a few minutes?
Oh. Boy, that gives the butterflies in your stomach, you know, when you're like, oh.
Not after 40-something, no.
Yeah, always
No
ready.
butterfly.
See, if you stay ready, you don't have to get ready.
That's a great point.
Well, that's... yeah, well, that could apply to a lot of
Yes,
things.
it sure does.
Neil, what's been going on?
Well, first of all, about this coach, Lane Kiffin.
Lane Kiffin.
Is that his name?
Lane Kiffin, yeah.
K or T?
K.
Who cares? Look, any school that runs around saying hotty toddy deserves whatever the hell happens to it.
I kind of like hotty toddy.
I would say anybody who gets in bed with Lane Kiffin deserves whatever happens
and
to
will
it.
get.
It's the nature of what goes on.
Well, I mean, what's this hotty toddy stuff?
Why?
But then these are college students, so there you go.
Yeah, having hot toddies in the morning, you know, noon kickoff, you get out there and, you know, have a hot toddy.
Oh, is
start
that
the
what
day.
it means?
Well,
it's a reference to the culture.
Yeah.
Like, you know, you go to the... Have you ever,
Wait a minute. Ole Miss has a culture?
Have you ever been to the Grove?
Ooh, boy.
You
It's
put it
fun
this way,
times.
Neil. You would enjoy the visual aspect of that culture.
Girls in cowboy boots?
Yeah,
as far as the eye can see.
And
You know,
all
I'm
stunning.
I'm not an Alabama fan by any means. And,
Okay.
and I only, for 5 years now, only watch college football.
Okay.
And that's very limited. But I used to have a hot air balloon it was the Atlanta Flames hot air balloon, so it was red with a big white A on it.
Okay.
So Alabama said, well, you know, hell, our students won't know the damn difference. So we'll invite him over here every year at homecoming to fly that balloon off the quad or whatever they call it. And I did that. And oftentimes I would carry a couple of Alabama cheerleaders. Boy, you talk about airheads.
But I bet they were pretty.
Where's your motor? Doesn't this thing have a motor? No. Oh, yeah, they were pretty. They were pretty. And, but Good.
So where's the drawback?
Yeah, like you know what happens?
Okay, I'll tell you the drawback, and you've heard this before. Sooner or later, you have to talk to them.
Do you?
At a college football game? No, it's just flirting.
No, I said sooner or later.
Yeah.
You have to. You know, I actually find myself this morning, to a degree, mourning the advent of an all-print AJC.
Oh, no.
Well, you know, first of all, it is a black newspaper, and for that reason, it doesn't get that much interest from me. But at least the advertisements aren't usually scams.
Okay. Yeah,
and I'm just getting so the internet has become so trashy when it comes to one of the ones that just finally I just ignored it is that they'll have a little ad and it'll show some sort of a gadget, and that looks interesting. I wonder what that does, and then it'll say these gadgets are becoming very these things are wonderful Christmas gifts. They're flying off the shelves. So you click on the advertisement and you start going through it, and then it occurs to you after, in my case, you've done this about 80 times. It occurs to you that nowhere in that advertisement does it show that little gadget that they use to as clickbait.
So there was a show on National Geographic called Trafficked, and one of the episodes they did was about internet scams, and one of the ones they drilled down on were internet love scams, and how so many of the perpetrators are out of Africa and Eastern Europe, that they pretend to be somebody different. They eventually ask for money, and they take advantage of people to the tune of thousands to hundreds of thousands. One of the benefits that's gone on with X now having a locator, you now see where that profile is coming from. And the amount of women, I will tell you, Neil, that she looks really great in her pictures and it says she's out of Africa because it's a scam. She's trying to get you to talk to her, fall in love with her, and then send her money.
Oh, it's all over the place.
It's everywhere.
The emails that you get, and I save some of them. Most of the time I just report scam and they get dumped, and then I don't hear back from them again. But status evaluation, I'm looking at one of them right here. Newsletter access on hold, awaiting your decision. A newsletter request has been logged for this address, blah, 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 blah. And they go through asking you to click here to verify your subscription to this newsletter. It's all look, don't tell me these internet companies cannot instantly track down who's putting these scams on their internet carrier.
Well, yeah.
Don't tell me they can't.
Well, yeah, you're exactly right. But you've become wise to it. It's taken a minute, but you've become wise to it. And now you know, don't click on any of that
The first
stuff.
79 times was a lesson. The last one, God, not going to fall for this gadget thing again.
That's right. They're not going to get me this time.
There was one I got the other day says, your bank account has been compromised.
Right. Yeah. Never.
So here's what you need to do. You need to go down to the bank and leave your husband at home to watch your house, because thieves are aware of this and they're targeting your home. So leave your husband, you go down to the bank and you withdraw X number of dollars and put them into this account so we can invest. And people do this.
I had my wife, this was probably maybe about 3 months ago, Neil. And so you would think she would know better. This is not new. This isn't like she fell for this 10 years ago. About 3 months ago, she got a phone call and it was over a parking ticket and trying to get money out of her. And there was this momentary pause as she's going for her wallet to go, wait a minute, this sounds a little bit funny. It's like it should have sounded funny immediately after the start of the phone call. That's where it should have hit. And so to know that even somebody with that kind of experience who's grown up with this stuff, the scams are getting more and more elaborate.
Well, look, in Florida, we have a lot of toll roads, okay? And so there was one scam that you get an email and it's from some toll authority. You have unpaid tolls. You either pay these tolls right now or your
Urgency.
registration of your car is going to be canceled.
Anytime there's urgency like that, you know it's a scam.
especially when they say, go get some gift cards.
Yeah, dude.
That we had a coworker of ours, a very sharp guy who fell for that.
Oh no!
About a year ago, cost him about $1,000 in gift cards, and of all things, the people that pulled the scam made it emulate like it came from station management. So he thought he was doing it for somebody
in an official
capacity at the station.
Oh boy!
Yeah,
was it the guy with the mohawk?
No. But I would say this particular coworker, if he could grow a mohawk, he would probably love to be able to.
Yeah. Same here, by the way.
Oh, Kimmer.
Here.
It was Kimmer.
No, it wasn't Kimmer either. No, it wasn't. Kimmer ain't gonna fall for that. He's an old Marine. Come on, he'll shoot his way out of that.
Oh, yeah.
He'll shoot his way out of that.
And thanks a pant load for that one, too.
Neil, what do you think about them, the Somalis stealing $1 billion? What do you think about that?
I think they ought to be kicked out of the country, including that woman that married her brother to get in here.
Amen. Absolutely. Denaturalization. Do you think the American public has the stomach for that? Because it's going to be long and arduous.
Look, the American public that doesn't seem to have the stomach for kicking anybody out of this country that's here illegally.
I know.
Well, I will say this. This has been encouraging. For 10 months, the numbers have not changed. Since January all the way to the last polling that we had in the end of October, you had 76% of all Americans who believed if you committed a crime in this country, you had to go. You had 56% who believed if you were here illegally, you had to go. So at least those numbers haven't changed. I just think that there's always going to be that faction of the media that's going to tell you about the abuela who needs to stay here, or the Somali who really wants to be here because they really want to be an American. I think that ends up being that problem that keeps that other 25% from jumping on board.
Yeah, well, look, and then there's Jasmine. Can we just go ahead and get a resolution that says, I don't care where Jasmine Crockett was born, she needs to go?
She's basically having her district that's going to be gone, and she believes she can run for Senate and win. I just need a little bit more of her in my life, because she reconfirms that there are bad voters and bad people that are representing us.
How do they get elected?
I have no idea, especially out of that area, Dallas. She must have come across at the time. I believe she came across as the private school educated, sharp woman. She's the next female Barack Obama. And as soon as she got into Congress, she either pulled the mask off or just decided, never mind, I'm going to placate people that think I should be the angry black woman.
Oh, boy.
And it's about to happen in Nashville, too, though.
In the meantime, I can't get people to read Camp of the Saints. It's happening.
Yeah.
Neither one of you have read it.
I'm not. I'm about to look it up.
I don't read. I'm looking. Half the time I have to look up stuff you bring up, and I go, okay, I will check that out. Put it this way, Neil. If you put it in a documentary or tell me there's a documentary, I'm in.
73 dystopian novel by French author Jean Raspail.
Yeah.
There you go.
You read it, and Waldo's your pucker factor will be so tight.
He'll make you draw up.
That they wouldn't be able to pull your briefs off with a front end loader.
Good.
You just read Camp of the Saints.
Is it what we're seeing happen to us in the United States right now?
Yeah. Yes, and you can read it online. You don't even have to pay for it.
I love that. Send me the link. That way I can find it.
So, prediction.
Yes.
When they find Travis Turner, it's going to be his remains.
Well, yes, most likely.
He took a gun and wandered off into the woods. Come on.
You know what you're going to be. Yeah.
And so now they're offering a $5,000 reward.
For everybody, that's the Virginia high school football coach.
With the child porn on his
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Boy. I mean, and you're that public a person, and you never mind.
I just feel terrible. Can I be honest? I feel bad for his family, because
absolutely,
they've learned something incredibly dark about father, husband, and now there's no
coming back from that.
No, and there's no way to justify it in your head. That's just the rest of your life. What your father
There's a reason why in prison you have people go after pedophiles like this, because there's no humanity there, where they're viewed as being
redeemable,
even to prison society.
Yeah,
the prisons redeemable. They have children.
Yeah,
they have kids. And this is maybe they look upon what they do to child killers or pedophiles. This is a way for me to redeem myself just a little bit in the eyes of the American people.
I think you're right, Neil. I think when they see somebody like that, they're like, look, I'm bad. What I did was bad. Whether they, are going to be able to be reformed and get out of jail and live a productive life, I don't know. But when the bad people in society recognize that this is horrible and irredeemable, that's when you know it's despicable. Yeah. It's the bottom of your shoe.
So, I've kind of polluted society, but I'm going to do something here to cleanse it.
Okay, here we go.
To a degree. Okay. Oh, by the way, I forgot to mention something. You were talking about the dumb masses that went to the airport to flip off
Lane Kiffin.
Yeah. Guys, this is how, in this day and age, this is how young people validate themselves.
I reckon.
They validate themselves by protesting. Yeah. They validate themselves by flipping off somebody and showing how correct. And some of them just go to extreme. Like there's a video on the internet right now about some woman that is accosting somebody near a rainbow sidewalk. I don't know. And then she says, "This is a gayborhood. You're not welcome here." And then she stares at him, and then she just opens her mouth and screams at the top of her lungs. This is how you never see a person with a conservative outlook doing that. But this is how liberal women now validate themselves. They stand or they sit on the ground and they scream. They just scream. And this suddenly makes them a meaningful person worthy of your attention.
The numbers say that the largest amount of people in this country that are suffering from mental illness are white liberal women.
Absolutely.
And the shoe fits.
And let me tell you, I have an Aunt Peg. She falls into that category every day of the week. I love her dearly. She's lost her mind.
Has she really?
Completely. I mean, Neil, completely lost her mind. Like I was telling
Why
Los.
don't you have her on the air?
I've been asking for this for months.
No.
Then I want Cousin Curtis, because Cousin Curtis is the redneck Robin Hood. He'll steal you anything you want, Neil.
As long as it benefits you or takes care of his family, he'll steal your tires and give them to you and put them on your car to make sure that your tires are, not bald.
I caught somebody trying to steal my tires once.
Really? In Buckhead?
No, it was Tucker area.
Okay.
I had a little office building in Tucker where my Bort's Law was, where my law office was, and I had to go there late in the evening but I had left a car there, so I found somebody taking the wheels off my car.
Wow!
How do you respond to that?
Yeah, what was
it wasn't pretty.
Did you draw a firearm?
Let's just say it wasn't pretty. But then,
so fill in the blank with my mind. I see what you're saying.
There is one time in my life where I could have legitimately been shot.
Was it over these tires?
No.
Beat me to it.
But I'm at home, and I lived very close. In fact, if I wanted to run through the woods, I could get to my office really quick. But I got an alert at home that the burglar alarm at my office had gone off. So I just threw something on and headed, the police had been called, headed for the office. And unfortunately, what I put on was a black sweatsuit.
Oh, they thought you were the person?
Yeah, so I got to the office, I unlocked, I went inside, and somebody had been trying to steal a computer when the alarm went off, and they just dove through a window and they were gone. So I'm walking around the office with a gun in my hand, and
oh no, it's like a movie scene.
Yeah, then I head back out the front door to the car, and I'm going down the ramp. You got to have a handicap ramp. I'm going down the ramp toward my car, and all of a sudden I hear this female voice say, "Drop that gun, asshole!"
Oh, there we go. Yep. Drop the gun. Got it.
Yeah, drop the gun. That's not all I said.
Yeah, right.
And I look up, and there's a DeKalb County female cop drawing down on me with her Glock, and she's got it aimed right at my chest.
Good heavens, Neil Boyd.
You've never seen anybody drop a gun that. And
I'm sure
she would have been absolutely within her rights to put a slug in me right at that point.
Good.
And there's a lot of people that wish she had.
Nobody in this building wishes that on the great Talkmaster Neil Bortz.
Okay, I was going to get you to explain Luigi to me before Jerry started hitting the go away Bortz button.
White liberal women obsession over an attractive guy who killed someone.
Yeah, that's pretty.
Once again, you're right. White liberal women. And they are the epicenter of mental illness in this country.
By the way, Neil, do you know the name? Because you throw stuff at us all the time. Christopher Scarver?
No.
That was the inmate who beat Jeffrey Dahmer to death.
Woo.
And he was doing God's work, is what he told people.
Right.
Did he get a pardon?
And unfortunately, no. But yeah.
A commutation? Anything? Extra rations?
I think you got an extra slice of pizza on pizza night at the jailhouse.
There you go. Pizza.
There we go.
Pizza slide it under the door.
There you go. Neil Bortz, Talkmaster. We love you, man. Thank you.
Well, then next time, give me more time.
Okay. Absolutely. You got as much as you need. Just let me know.
Yeah, well, that's true. Okay.
All right, Neil.
Don't get any on you.
I'm going to do my best not to.
Okay.
Woo, Lord, what a morning with
The
Neil
latest
Bortz.
sports news, powered by 680 The Fan, and driven to extra listeners by RBM of Atlanta in Sandy Springs, Atlanta's Mercedes-Benz connection since 1964.
Good morning. Here are your sports headlines for Tuesday, December 2nd. The Atlanta Hawks dropped the second game of their back-to-back to the Detroit Pistons in Detroit last night, 99-98 the final. The Hawks are off tonight. They are back at home on Wednesday night as they will play the LA Clippers. From college football, it's now all official. Former Ole Miss coach Lane Kiffin is now officially the new coach over at LSU. He gets a 7-year deal worth $91 million. University of Kentucky, they also have a new coach after firing Mark Stoops. They have hired Oregon offensive coordinator Will Stein as their next head coach. With your sports headlines, I'm Carlos Medina.
Hey, this is John Flading. I'm the president and owner of ATL Turf Co. We are a family-owned, operated, independent local company. We have over 15 years of artificial grass design, installation, and sales experience. From premium artificial lawns and backyards, custom putting greens, sports fields, hardscape, drainage, we do both residential and commercial. If you can dream it, we can build it. Just go to atlturfco.com to schedule an appointment.
The right partner makes all the difference. For more than 185 years, we've forged personal relationships with our customers and communities, funding economic development and rallying around the causes that are important to our neighbors. With the technology, products, and expertise you'd expect from a big bank and the local decision-making and commitment to community from your neighborhood bank, United Bankshares is your trusted financial partner for life. Learn more at bankwithunited.com. United Bankshares, member FDIC.
The holidays are about moments that last forever. At Solomon Brothers Jewelers, every piece of jewelry tells a story, your story. Whether it's a sparkling engagement ring or a gift that says, I love you, we're here to make this season magical with exclusive holiday offers you won't want to miss. From bezel set jewelry and trendy yellow gold to essentials for that layered look. Explore our holiday gift guides or schedule your appointment at SolomonBrothers.com. And don't forget to check out our holiday specials like our famous diamond studs starting at $9.99. It seems like every year, everything gets more expensive, except here. A 3/4 carat diamond pendant for just $14.99. 3 Atlanta locations in Buckhead, Alpharetta, and Sharpsburg. One tradition of excellence. Book your customized shopping experience today at SolomonBrothers.com. Solomon Brothers, where luxury meets love.
For 4 decades, Project Share and the Salvation Army have helped Georgia families through temporary crisis, keeping essential services on and hope within reach.
You can contribute to Project Share directly from your monthly electric bill, and Georgia Power will amplify your gift with a 150% match. To donate, visit georgiapower.com/projectshare or call 1-800-SAL-ARMY. Together, we can provide help for families in crisis. Please donate today.
Okay, who just opened your Obamacare or Marketplace renewal and almost fell off the chair? Hey, 35%, and it's not even any better? You're not crazy. They keep jacking the premium and giving you less. I don't know about this stuff, but I know who does. I go to Steven, the health insurance doctor. I send people there because he's been doing this 16 years. He wins awards for this stuff. He helps the self-employed, 1099, small business owners, the people actually paying for their own insurance. But you're going to get corporate-style coverage coverage nationwide PPO. How about lower zero deductibles, plans that pay you cash benefits when you use them? And he does it all around the year round there because, he's independent. He's got multiple carriers to quote. A lot of you are going to see that premium go right down instead of up. And in some cases, saving to 60% over that renewal number. He works for you, not in Washington. Here's the number, 678-523-0759. 678-523-0759. Or go to healthinsurancedoctor.net. It's Steven, not a call center. Your plan, your savings, and tell him the Kibber sent you.
Holy cow. Family and friends are coming for the holidays, and you need some projects done around the house before they arrive. Relax. We've got you covered. Hi, I'm Chris Lalomia from the Trusted Toolbox. With our Handyman for a Day deal, we can knock out all those projects you've been putting off for months, from plumbing issues and painting to flooring, fencing, trim work, and much, much more. So get your home ready for the holidays and call us at 770-623-3097, or you can always book it online at thetrustedtoolbox.com.
The legend Neil Bortz is only on Extra 106.3. Hey, it's Kimmer. How's it going? Here's what you missed from the Talkmaster.
A growing college-educated proletariat can't find jobs they want to work. They believe their degrees aren't being adequately rewarded by the free market, and they blame capitalism.
Catch Neil's commentary every day on Extra 106.3 or listen anytime on the Extra 106.3 app.
Tug and Los until 10 on the Morning Extra.
That's a plus.
Yeah, no, it is.
It is a plus.
Absolutely is. If you missed Neil Bortz, listen to him on the Extra 106.3 app. I don't know if what he said will be there or not. If you were listening on the app, it was there.
Hello, America. Hello,
Unfiltered Internet. Neil Bortz.
This is what I was saying in the break. This is a plus that Neil has such vivid discussions with us as if we're just all sitting in a bar, just shooting the S, that he feels more than comfortable to curse.
That's right. He dropped an a-hole on us. And so if you caught that, then we apologize. But we probably shouldn't, because it's Neil. It just is what it is. It's fun. We laughed. We cleared it on the air side. But if you're on the app,
we didn't break any broadcast regulations.
No, not on
didn't
the
go out on the air.
That's right. No, exactly. It's just funny.
Streaming or YouTube, here's your bonus.
It's just funny that Neil is so comfortable. Just like Lo said, he's just talking with the boys.
Telling a story with the boys.
Where he said that an officer says, "Drop the gun, a-hole."
And now he found out about Christopher Scarver.
That's right. Absolutely.
And we found out about what was the
book?
Camp of the Saints?
Camp of the Saints, yes.
Which the left will tell you is, well, it's so incredibly white nationalist racist. I'm like, I don't know, but I will take in a documentary on this stuff. I want to have my own opinions on these things.
Exactly
I don't need NPR to tell me what it is.
Because that's the article from November 19th, 2019. Stephen Miller in Camp of the Saints, a white supremacist tale.
First off, if you were to tell me that the Turner Diaries was no big deal, I'd be like, no, the Turner Diaries is quite a big deal. If you want to point at the whole idea of a race war and what it's supposed to inspire, then that's what the Turner Diaries are. Like, it's decidedly racist.
Yeah, I don't know. Like I said, this is a book from 73 from a French author, and it talks about...
We can't possibly have any sort of white nationalism to him.
Yeah, right.
He's 73 and he's French. Come on.
It's all free and clear. So, but that's exactly what NPR has said. All right, if you're working for Trump, you're a target for the Democrats. And not only are you a target, you deserve jail time if you carry out anything that you're ordered to do.
I will remind you that the communists in this country are continuing to enhance their political abilities. And what I mean by that is, back in 2016, 2017, part of the reason why Donald Trump could not put the staff together that he wanted was, first off, he was kind of given a list, and he was a business guy, and he just kind of picked from the list. Then when he started to want other people as part of his cabinet or part of his team, those were few and far between, because you had people who were told in D.C., if you go work for him, your career's over in this town. You will never be allowed to work in this town ever again. And that worked.
And they're trying to repeat it now.
You also had, when he was facing all of the lawfare, you had so many of these high-powered law offices that were told, you represent him, you'll never have a place in this country ever again. So when Hakeem Jeffries tells you, when we're in power, we're going to lock you up, I know it sounds like bluster. I know you're looking at Hakeem Jeffries as being a clown. Just understand this is a reason why these people can't have power, because they firmly plan on doing this.
One thing that should be clear to all of these Republican extremists and sycophants and the people who are either actively involved in corruption, violating the law, engaged in extrajudicial activity, is that the statute of limitations for any crimes being committed now is 5 years. It will extend well beyond the end of the Trump administration.
Know that they are going to come after everybody in the administration. That's why the midterms are so important.
Very important. It's why the next 3 years, and as Trump reminded them, well, that's an eternity. It's a long time.
Yeah, I can get a lot done.
Well, there's going to be more of these battles, but their goal is once again the same one: impeachment, and then how do we lock these people up? If that doesn't tell you they're communist in nature, and that's what the Democrat Party is. Because if you were a loyal opposition, you have your turn, I have my turn, we argue it, we see who wins. Now instead, my opponent doesn't say, let's have it out in the arena of ideas. My opponent says, I'm going to lock you up. If I can't lock you up, I'm going to kill you.
Socialism is not a disqualifying factor. The Democrats are celebrating that, Los. So they can use those tactics that are used in socialist countries or in communist countries. They're completely comfortable with it now. Now that being a socialist, being a communist does not disqualify you from public office anymore.
No, and what's unfortunate is that there are certain communities where we would say, okay, that's never going to fly. For instance, I would say in your community, in my community, no chance. The minute somebody is looked at as being communist in nature, socialist in nature, no chance. But you got it going on with a vote in Nashville today.
Dude, I'm telling you, that's my fear.
New York already had it happen.
New York had it happen. Nashville, I would bet right now maybe I'm not the right person to ask because I expect the worst, hope for the best. That's the way I live my life. I'm never disappointed that way. Ever disappointed that way. I bet she wins in Nashville.
I think they'll turn out and they'll end up winning comfortably against her.
I hope you're right.
I heard the same thing when it was Ted Cruz. Oh, look what Ted Cruz walked in that race. Mm-hmm. There is far more that should be voting accordingly. And I believe that once you get the word out, and you're also going to have the biggest radio show in the country doing the same thing today.
Yeah.
If it's all turnout,
we should be able to move the needle.
Should be able to win.
I agree with that. And like I said, I may not be the right person to ask because I've never let myself be disappointed.
But it's also unfortunate that we're having to now push these scary characters at people for them to realize that the game's real.
We have to present people as the boogeyman.
Yes.
To actually get people
to actually
off their
play
tail.
their audio and say, look, this person, you don't want him here.
Goodness. That's where we are. I warned you about humanitarian parole, and now Los's spirit animal is warning you too. We'll do that next hour, top of the 8 here on Extra 106.3.
It's time for the Bortz Report, exclusively on Atlanta's only conservative news and talk station, Extra 106.3.
There's a bit of a trend going on around the country in major cities you might not have heard of: guaranteed basic income. There's even a coalition of 150 mayors across the country that are pushing these programs. Right now, the idea is a guaranteed basic income of $1,000 a month with no strings attached. Spend it on whatever you want to spend it on. And the story in Fox News proudly states that most of these people are spending this money on basic necessities. Cook County, Illinois, Chicago is the latest. I read through the story twice. One thing they failed to mention: in order to come up with this $1,000 a month for these Cook County so-called citizens, the county first has to take it away from the citizens that actually earned this money and give it to those who did not. None of the politicians mention this. I guess they don't think it's important. And you don't see the news stories mention it either. The people who get the money that somebody else earned like the program, so that's all the reason you need to extend it. Besides, what a great thing for politicians. When an election comes along, All they have to do is say, I pledge to increase the amount of your basic income. Wow, I'm voting for you. Just like government union workers always vote for the politician that promises them more retirement benefits. Form your own conclusion, folks, but before I go, let me remind you that the fair tax makes sure that not one household in the United States pays a penny to government until they meet their own basic needs. But that takes power away from politicians. It doesn't give power to politicians, so it's a non-starter. Neil Bortz, Extra 106.3.
Right now in war-torn Ukraine, elderly Jews like Maria face a brutal winter and a constant search for food. Maria is 85 years old and she lives alone. She's nearly blind and she suffers from a broken hip. And Maria is a Holocaust survivor. Her father and brother were murdered by the Nazis, and she still lives in her childhood home. There's no indoor plumbing, no heat, and it is bitter cold. Today, like yesterday, Maria barely has enough food to survive. Her hunger is unbearable. She prays for warmth and food and somebody just to notice and help her. Can you even imagine that your grandmother would face such a hardship? Makes me think about how blessed we truly are to live here in America. Well, through the International Fellowship of Christians and Jews, your gift of $25 will help provide a survival food box, a life-saving aid for somebody like Maria. So don't delay. Your gift today will help provide the life-saving food and hope that Maria and many like her desperately need. Rush your gift now at 888-488-IFCJ. That's 888-488-4325. Or you can give online at glenforthefellowship.org. That's glenforthefellowship.org.
WFOM and W292 EV Marietta, a Dickey broadcasting station. The 8 a.m. hour is brought to you by Central Heating and Air.
Some polls are just opening now in Tennessee. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News. Others will in the next 2 hours for a special election to fill a vacant seat in Congress. It's typically a red district, but GOP candidate Matt Van Epps is facing a tough blue challenger, telling Fox,
my opponent wants new and higher taxes to fund her socialist agenda.
He's talking about Democrat Afton Bain trying to win in the 7th House District. President Trump won by 22 points last year.
If you are upset about the cost of living and the chaos of Washington, then I'm your candidate. Doesn't matter who you voted for.
The president will hold a cabinet meeting this morning and may address the growing controversy around the U.S. military operation off Venezuela's coast, blowing up boats, trafficking illegal drugs, killing so-called narco-terrorists. One of those attacks will get an investigation in Congress.
The incident under review, which happened 3 months ago today, the administration says it did not break any laws after carrying out an airstrike on a boat. The strike was notable, though, because multiple shots were fired, killing 2 people who appeared to have survived the first strike.
Fox's Mark Meredith also reports from the White House what Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt says.
It was the decision by Admiral Frank Bradley, who they believe should have their full support in carrying out his work.
On September 2nd, Secretary Hegseth authorized Admiral Bradley to conduct these kinetic strikes. Admiral Bradley worked well within his authority and the law.
Secretary of War Pete Hegseth later posted on X that Admiral Bradley's an American hero and has his 100% support. It's not going to be an easy day to drive in a lot of areas of the country with wintry weather. From Indiana to North Carolina to New England, Fox Weather's Katie Byrne is in Pittsburgh.
We could see up to 5 inches of snow in Pittsburgh, and it's really their first big snow storm of the season. So we've got the school delays, we've got cancellations, not only here, but all over the place.
And there are those also at airports, 111 flights canceled. There are also more than 900 delays. America's listening to Fox News.
So Pure Talk is offering unlimited talk, text, and data on a crazy fast 5G network for just $29.95 a month for life. Not your phone's life, your life. This top-tier plan is normally $65 a month, but if you switch today, you'll save over 50% every month for the rest of your life. You might say it's the deal of your lifetime. Just dial pound 250, say Mike Rowe. Offer expires 12/7. Some restrictions apply. Details at puretalk.com.
An official message from Medicare.
Medicare plans change from one year to the next. And this year, it's important for you to review your current coverage and compare all your options during Medicare open enrollment. Compare health plans, drug coverage, and costs. See if you can save some money, and don't forget to make sure your drugs are covered. Open enrollment ends December 7th. Visit Medicare.gov or call 1-800-MEDICARE.
Paid for by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services.
What do you say to anyone who still doesn't understand America First? Tell the left now at 404-741-1230 on the Morning Extra.
Tug and Los until 10. Glad that you're here. And if you want to, call us up. 404-741-1230 at Extra 1063 across the social media platforms. Los, I don't know if this is a good thing or not, but my wife has convinced me to drink every day until Christmas.
What?
Every day until Christmas.
How'd she do that, and what kind of wonderful drug is she on?
She got us one of those wine advent calendars.
Oh.
So every night we get a new glass of wine, and it goes all the way to December 25th. We got it at Aldi. Last night was a red Zinfandel. So good. Had an oak flavor. Here's the thing that sucked, though. She was so disappointed.
Okay.
You would have thought just a glass of wine.
Is it just because, did it not hit the expectation?
Well, on the box, it says pairs well with cheese and chocolate. In her mind, it said paired with cheese and chocolate. So we're having that first sip of wine. She goes back over there looking for the cheese and chocolate. Guess what wasn't in there? Any cheese and chocolate. Because I was like,
what's a suggestion?
Right. I was like, well, how are they going to keep the cheese, from going bad? This doesn't seem like it's a good idea.
I wouldn't want if the idea is I'm purchasing a product that as it ages might be better. I shouldn't pair it with other products that I don't want it to age.
Right. So she was so disappointed that there were no cheese and chocolate on the back. It's like, day one, here's what you should pair with it. Pick it also up at Aldi.
Aren't there some fancy cheeses that you're supposed to age? That do the wine thing?
Yeah, but in a $59, you ain't get. It's not like good cheese is coming in there.
That's fancy cheese to me.
If she wanted something with age, then what I would suggest is here's an MRE to go with your bottle of wine,
right.
And see how long that you enjoy those things together.
And you won't at all.
And you'll be like, oh Lord.
Yeah, absolutely. So she had gotten a Ghirardelli dark chocolate and peppermint bark. And we paired that with it. It was delicious. But she's convinced me to drink every day until July 20 or December 25th.
Well, that sounds pretty good.
That part isn't all that bad.
We got invited to some friends of ours that our daughters play volleyball together. Mm-hmm. They have their own Christmas party, and it's Vegas themed.
Wow.
So they've hired a company to do table games.
Wow.
So we get another shot at this.
When is that?
That's going to be December 21st. I'm very excited about this.
Dude, that's awesome.
So I, too, am going to try and consume right up until December 21st. And by the way, I'll be off for the year at that point. So Katie, bar the door, baby. We got to get on that Uber.
That's right.
I don't know how I'm going to walk out of that house. We're going to see.
I can tell you how you're walking out of the house sideways. You're walking out of that house.
You need to come and pick me up now.
Unsteady is how you're walking out of that house. I know exactly what you're doing.
So, yeah, that's our next thing that's out there that we're like, okay, it's 3 weeks out. It should be a lot of fun.
That is the one thing, whether you're doing, a Advent wine, because her and my son are doing an Advent puzzle too. They love doing puzzles during Christmas time. There's always something fun to do around this time of year. Christmas parties, obviously, and our company's got a Christmas party coming up. It's gonna be so much fun.
I'm missing it for the first time in like years.
Oh no!
So we're gonna be out of town.
No,
we're gonna be in Tennessee.
There you go.
Yeah.
So, well, we will we'll have an extra for you.
Well, thank you.
Yeah, maybe take an extra shot. I don't know. Could we?
Everybody get a little crazy.
That's exactly right. Be like the terrorist, the narco terrorist down in we just take an extra shot.
They just
bam, bam.
The first one, it was good.
Yeah, it's great. That second one set us up just nicely.
Few people still hanging around. Here comes another.
Boom.
This is going to be the left's marching orders, and even right now on PMS now,
it's still hard to say. It doesn't roll off the tongue well.
They're starting every hour with White House confirms second strike on boat. And this is all part of an operation. We told you about what has been going on with the Seditious Six, that you had them talking about, you don't have to carry out illegal orders. Well, the plan was always to march out this story. The plan was also to then have, as well, a former CIA operative, Afghani. We'll have them start shooting over at people on the street when it comes to our National Guard. Now you can say, well, these aren't linked. Oh, so you're just telling me that the Washington Post happened to roll out a story to go along with the Seditious Six, to go along with this boat story, to then have a former CIA Afghani taking shots at our military. You're telling me these aren't linked?
All that's coincidental.
All of it's coincidental. No, these are what dirty operations look like. Man, I started thinking about it. We might have to do a story time at some point on when the CIA was flying drugs into this country and making it their own piggy bank.
Yep.
Like that's one of those where if you don't think that the CIA will act in a dirty fashion or kill Americans, you'll find out.
You absolutely will. The CIA is when at least when I think about the deep state, that's where it begins for me with the CIA, because we know over the last 50 years some of the filthy things they've done in Mexico, in the Caribbean, in the United States. They've turned our own government against a sitting president.
And when it's too dirty for the CIA, well, they roll in USAID. Now, unfortunately, because USAID is gone, now they're having to figure out, okay, how are we going to handle this stuff on our own?
But that's not going to make them stop.
But in conjunction then with the media, it's all talking about war crimes. War crimes, war crimes. Everybody talking about war crimes.
Buzzword yesterday.
Which you can blow off completely. I want to show you, because Sunny Hostin, I don't think that if you gave her a flashlight in a small room and said, find the war crime, she'd be able to find it. So it's not going to be part of what she's capable of doing. But when you're told as a media member, make sure you call it a war crime.
This is what we're running with.
Here's the buzzword. This is what she chose to do on The View.
I can't speak to the law of it. I don't know, I'm not a geopolitical expert. But in terms of the law of it, you're right, Sarah. That is why those Army vets explained, do not follow, you do not have to follow illegal orders. You know why? Because if this is deemed to have been war crimes, which by all accounts right now, there are 7 sources that said Pete Hegseth did say kill them all, even after there were 2 survivors, which you're supposed to do under international law. You are supposed to take those fighters as war criminals, prisoners of war, and you're supposed to give them refuge, and you're supposed to take care of them, and then you are supposed to put them into a court of law.
First off, this is where it blows up. These are terrorists designated by the administration and by this country. Terrorists do not fall under the Geneva Accords, the Geneva Convention, or any international law. In fact, terrorists are viewed as non-combatants, which means POW status, all the things that Sunny Hostin just brought up and spoke about. Well, I'm not an expert, but but you're playing one on ABC. None of the rules of law, international law or otherwise, apply to terrorists. It is at our discretion what to do. And so if you want to hit them again, hit them again.
Well, and here's the other thing, and I said this yesterday too. They're never concerned with laws unless it's beneficial to them.
Yes,
politically expedient to be worried about laws. When Obama droned people, not a word. When Biden droned people in Afghanistan, not a word.
Which included 7 children, right? And not a word. They said, well, we have to improve our policies and our procedures.
The general in Afghanistan said, I did it. He was not punished for it.
No one was.
No one was. But all of a sudden, when it's politically expedient, can you believe what they're doing? We would never do this.
Barack Obama was able to drop, in terms of bombs, more than 2,100 during 2016. He drone struck an American citizen and yet was still able to say, well, they're affiliated with Al-Qaeda. They're terrorists.
That was his out.
Well, if we've decided, and we have, that you have narco-terrorism in this hemisphere, and these people are taking this stuff over to Mexico, here's the way it always ends up in our country. Well, it's on you all. Now, here's the other portion of this. You have Venezuela that is largely, when it comes to a communist country, being fueled by narco-terrorism. This is not just in the interest of, hey, keeping drugs off our streets, which to me is 20% of this.
That's right.
The other 80% is letting you know, you want to change that regime? Because we're cutting off your money.
That's exactly right. And we're closing down the airspace. Our military, the United States military right now controls the airspace over Venezuela. And here's the thing, even if they wanted to fight back, their army is not capable of it. Maduro knows it. Trump knows it. Xi knows it. Putin knows it. everybody that's involved.
Everybody knows.
And that's the reason that you're seeing nothing from China. You're seeing nothing from Russia, even though they're connected, very well connected to Maduro. The Chinese want to build a Navy base in Venezuela. The Russians have munitions in Venezuela. Did I say that right? The Chinese want to build a Navy base in Venezuela. The Russians have ammunition there already. That's a message to those two just as much as it is anybody else.
We have isolated Venezuela to make sure that the Russians nor the Chinese have a foothold in this hemisphere.
Exactly right.
That's
and
all.
We can't allow it.
No, we're not going to.
We cannot allow a Navy base in Venezuela. Get out of here. We already know what the Chinese are doing by buying property next to military installations. Can you imagine if they had a fully functioning Navy base in Venezuela?
And so now that you have the big picture of all of this, does it now seem ridiculous that we're talking about drone striking drug cartel members on a boat?
Do it again. That's what I say. And the next one that rolls out, do it again.
Hit it again.
That's exactly right.
Oh, look, they're survivors. Hit it again. Don't leave any. And I think this is the miscalculation on the left. If you think that I'm concerned about the abuela who's cleaning your house, or the person who came here illegally in some sort of way, and you giving me a sob story, or the Polish guy that's being sent back, do you really think I'm concerned about drug cartel members from Venezuela?
Not a chance.
Do you think I'm sitting back going, "Oh, maybe we should visit them with some more rights"? Do you think I'm looking to open up some sort of wing of Guantanamo Bay for Venezuela drug cartel members?
But you have the Democrat Party defending the cartels.
Yes.
You have them defending the people that are running the drugs that we're trying to fight against.
And that is another aspect of this. I'm glad you brought this up, because I was thinking about this on the way in, and I was trying to think, well, how do you articulate this without trying to sound like this is nutty? Because I brought this up during the Biden administration. I said, why is this being allowed to happen? I said, this is an exchange. The Democrats are in bed with some of these cartels. We have all of the issues that are going on in Arizona, and Katie Hobbs is the one who gets locked into all of this as far as, hey, there's cartel money that's helping with her campaign. If the cartels already control all of Mexico, you think that they're not operating here with our own politicians? One of the biggest mistakes people have made is when the border was wide open, there was an exchange being done. You send us cheap labor, we'll send you guns. Fast and Furious was just the start of that. If you don't remember what Fast and Furious was, that was a gun running program in order to find out when our guns go across the border, how do they filter through?
Where do they end up?
Where do they end up? That was part of a larger operation. Wasn't about getting rid of cartels. Why do you think we were sending guns there? Because we didn't know how our guns get around over there.
Absolutely right. And these people, to pretend that we give a rip about some drug runner that's being, and they try to hit you with that. Well, these people are poor. They're just taking this job. No. There is a full network of people that cannot wait to get on those boats, and because they get paid incredible. There are probably 3 or 4 different people on the boat. One's a navigator. One's that's the go between the delivery people and where it's being sent from. Every one of them deserve to be cooked.
Let's say, as just a hypothetical, based on what is on that boat, and I don't know if you ever remember what y'all would seize or what the Coast Guard would seize.
Always guns, cocaine, marijuana. And so, at the time, because I don't remember fentanyl even being a thing, I don't remember meth being a thing. It was mainly cocaine and marijuana, to my recollection.
Do you remember if they would ever give you like a street value?
Oh, yeah. Millions and millions and millions and millions of dollars.
All right, so let's just say, for instance, we'll call it $5 million.
And I think that's a low ball.
Okay, go low ball, $5 million. For the average of what is going on in Venezuela. Again, they used to have the highest per capita income in the developing world at $15,000. It's now closer to $3,000 to $5,000 because of communism.
Yeah.
So let's just say, let's put on the low end at $3,000 to $5,000. You getting on that boat for $5,000?
Not a chance.
No, you wouldn't. But think about the amount of people that would.
Right, but people down there, absolutely they would. Yeah, because they live in a communist nation.
And by the way, that boat is worth $5 million, and I'm going to get a taste of it. What if it's $10,000?
Yeah,
I'm going to get on that boat. I'll take part in this run. And you're playing games at that point with the U.S. military, which you have gotten away with for ad nauseum for years and years and years and years and years. It's not until this administration we're saying, no, listen, we're going to hit you.
And with the entire Gerald Ford battle group now down there just completely encircling the Caribbean, how many of those people are going to raise their hand now, though? With all these boats being blown up, you can see the aircraft carrier in the distance. Dude, people are going to be like, maybe not today.
I might go back to fishing.
Might not do it today. If they float away, if they move out, I'm back in. Knowing that they're being taken out daily, people are going to be less likely. Doesn't matter what the number is. Doesn't matter how much they can earn, because if you're dead, you ain't got nothing.
This is for lack of a better term, this is like this Call of Duty world. All right, like there's enough people who have been exposed to what this looks like, where people just look at it as like, oh, it's a game. And when you tell them, well, who's on that boat? Oh, they're drug cartel members. I don't have a problem with it.
Blow it up.
There is no sadness there. This isn't like seeing some school bus exploded where you're like, that's innocent kids.
These
No.
are people that know exactly what they're doing.
These are drug cartel
And
members who know
making
exactly what,
mint.
and making a bunch of money.
That's exactly
I'm
right.
sorry.
It's not going to change.
Hit them again. Hit them again.
That's right. I'm 100% in favor of it. Having done those drug ops in my lifetime, knowing exactly what they're doing, and they know what they're doing. All the routes are laid out. It's so clear. Everybody knows, except the Democrats who pretend not to know.
And again, non-uniformed combatants do not have legal status when it comes to international law.
And especially in international waters, too.
They're all terrorists until they're not.
When we continue on Extra 106.3, all of a sudden the mainstream media thinks it's safe to discuss turbo cancers on Extra 106.3.
Did you miss Neil Bortz?
I am shocked.
Don't worry. He's live anytime on the Extra 106.3 app.
Oh, that radio show.
Did traffic cause you to miss some of the Kimmer Show? Get it on the app.
It's all the kids talk about on Monday at school.
With anytime show replays from the Kimmer, Bortz, the Morning Extra, Clay and Buck, and so much more. Plus local headlines and breaking news. Grab the Extra 106.3 app now and start streaming.
Hey, good morning. It's Los. Let's talk about Howard Brothers and Kawasaki. Winter is here. You've noticed, and it's time to prep your equipment for the cold season with Kawasaki genuine parts. The parts that keep your machines running strong all year long. From changing air filters to replacing spark plugs or getting ahead of the spring maintenance, Kawasaki delivers the performance that your engines are built for. That is why you take your equipment over to Howard Brothers. They are able to take care of your equipment. We're winterizing our equipment now. We're getting it ready so when the season is back, whether you are just a regular homeowner like myself or if you're a lawn care professional, you want to make sure that that equipment is good to go. Bam, day one when it's ready. Get winter ready. Trust Kawasaki and Howard Brothers for the right parts and the best service.
With the holiday season quickly approaching and road trips back in vogue, now more than ever, convenience becomes a must-have. At RBM of Atlanta, we embody this definition. Convenience is our middle name. Meet the RBM of Atlanta Mercedes-Benz pickup and delivery service. It gives you back time and money. Does your Mercedes-Benz need service? If so, we'll pick up your vehicle that's requiring service from your home or office and bring it back to our dealership for those services. And once the services have been complete, we'll bring your Mercedes-Benz back to you. With over 100 appointments available every weekday, over 50 appointments on Saturdays, and more than 200 courtesy vehicles in our fleet, we're here to serve. We'll work around your schedule. We're here to save you time, energy, and money. RBM of Atlanta is a J.D. Power 2025 Diamond Dealer of Excellence for the customer sales experience. And we're proud to be Atlanta's Mercedes-Benz connection since 1964. Pickup and delivery service restrictions do apply. Ask your service coordinator or service advisor at RBM of Atlanta for details.
While retinitis pigmentosa takes Mark's vision, his family gives him hope, whether at the family business or at home with his wife and sons. He knows he's not fighting alone. For 50 years, the Foundation Fighting Blindness has funded research into treatments and cures for blinding retinal diseases, providing hope to people with vision loss. And for Mark, winning the fight means being there for his family. The Foundation Fighting Blindness. Together, we're winning. Help us end blinding diseases at fightingblindness.org.
Attention extra listeners. The end of the year is closing in.
Are your retirement plans ready? We at Master Plan Retirement Consultants are holistic retirement planners, including income and growth planning, tax strategies, and estate and legacy planning. Each piece of the retirement puzzle must fit together cohesively because we know a change in one area can inevitably affect the others. Our boutique team serves you with fiduciary care, ensuring every step moves you closer to a confident, sustainable retirement. Don't wait. There's still time to adjust your plan before year end. Schedule your complimentary consultation now at masterplanretire.com. Master Plan Retirement Consultants. Plan well and prosper.
Advisory services offered through Master Plan Retirement Consultants, Inc., a registered investment advisory in the state of Georgia. Insurance, tax, and commodity services offered through Fricks & Associates, Inc., DBA Master Plan Retirement Consultants. The aforementioned are affiliated companies.
This is Jonathan Geller at D. Geller & Son Jewelers with my dad, Mike. And Dad, how do you know you've got the right gift before you give it?
You get it at D. Geller & Son.
That's it?
That's it. We've been helping Atlanta get it right since 1939 with real jewelry experts to walk you through Atlanta's best selection.
Well, it's a no-brainer when you get here, but not everyone knows what to expect when they're shopping for jewelry.
Well, you can't let nerves talk you into getting a blender when she wanted diamonds. D. Geller & Son is all about making it easy. You don't need to dress up. You don't need to see a receptionist. We're just real people.
And if you're wondering what we have
everything. Every style, every budget.
Whether it's silver and diamond stocking stuffers for $95, diamond hoops for $13.95, or one-of-a-kind showstoppers.
For the best selection, best quality, and best value.
Trust D. Geller & Son in Kennesaw, Sandy Springs, and online at dgeller.com.
Affordable jewelry for everyone is at D. Geller & Son.
Okay, who just opened your Obamacare or Marketplace renewal and almost fell off that chair? Hey, 30, 35%, and it's not even any better? You're not crazy. They keep jacking the premium and giving you less. I don't know about this stuff, but I know who does. I go to Steven, the health insurance doctor. I send people there because he's been doing this 16 years. He wins awards for this stuff. He helps the self-employed, 1099, small business owners, the people actually paying for their own insurance. You bet you're going to get corporate-style coverage, nationwide PPO. How about lower zero deductibles, plans that pay you cash benefits when you use them? And he does it all around the year round there because, you know what, he's independent. He's got multiple carriers to quote. A lot of you are going to see that premium go right down instead of up. And in some cases, saving to 60% over that renewal number. He works for you, not Washington. Here's the number, 678-523-0759. 678-523-0759. Or go to healthinsurancedoctor.net. It's Steven, not a call center. Your plan, your savings, and tell him the Kibber sent you.
The stories that matter to you. These are your Georgia headlines.
It's Tuesday, December 2nd. The Georgia Lottery announced a major milestone, passing $30 billion in funds raised for Georgia education programs like pre-K and the Hope Scholarship. Governor Kemp praised the lottery, pointing out that 2.2 million children have taken advantage of free pre-K, and another 2 million students have attended college with the Hope Scholarship since the lottery's founding in 1993. A fundraising effort is underway in Hiram after a fire broke out on Thanksgiving Day at a Hiram police officer's home. Paulding fire officials responded with multiple units, but strong winds made the fire especially difficult to put out. Officials say the home is a total loss, but no other homes were damaged. The nonprofit group Paulding Public Safety Appreciation has started a fundraiser for the officer and his family. You can find a link to the fundraiser at the Hiram Police Department's Facebook page. And one Atlanta zip code has been ranked among the top 10 places to move in the country. The hottest zip codes report by Moving Place ranked zip code 30346 number 9, citing its proximity to the city, major office parks, and access to high-end shopping. Today's weather mostly cloudy and wet with highs in the upper 40s. With your headlines, I'm Jerry Payne for Extra 106.3.
Tug and Los until 10. We just finished up the discussion about the double tap, as the media is calling it, when our military men and women blew up the narco-terrorist drug boat down in the Caribbean off of Venezuela. And you hear the media and they're running with, well, this is war crimes, this is all this nonsense. Well, what about these people? They're just doing their best. They're just fishermen. They're just taking the jobs because the economy.
We can't even validate that they're drug runners.
That's exactly right, which is untrue completely. So I just did a quick search because I didn't know the answer. And I didn't know I'd be able to find out the answer. So I just went to AI, went to Grok, and said, what was the value of drugs seized by USS South Carolina CGN 37, the boat that I was stationed on in the United States Navy? It brought up 3 different operations that the USS South Carolina was a part of.
Because, by the way, last segment, when I asked you, what do you think the value was of stuff that y'all stopped in conjunction with the Coast Guard? And I said, what about $5 million?
Yeah, we just went with that as a round number.
And you said, oh, no, it's going to be considerably more.
And I knew it would be, but I didn't know if I could find the information. Grok AI found it immediately, brought up all 3 deployments for that ship, including the 1998 counter-narcotics operation that I was a part of down in the Caribbean, shortly before the South Carolina was decommissioned, end of 1999. When they brought up how much we seized, they said the typical single interdiction value range from $10 to $50 million. $10 to $50 million. We went with 5 just to play it safe. $10 to $50 million
in street value at that point in the late 90s.
And can you imagine what that is multiplied to now with the inclusion? Because then it was just cocaine and marijuana mainly. That's the only thing I remember us seizing, and we seized a lot of it on these cigar boats that were doing 40 and 50 knots across the water. You always knew the routes. You knew, you could just see how fast they were going. What fishing boat goes 50 knots across the water? None of them. Those are cigar boats that are drug runners.
So let's go tiny amount. Let's go 1998 numbers. Let's say every single one of those boats might be carrying, we'll go like 150, 200 million in street value, but let's just say they're planning on selling it to the Mexicans for $50 million. Because along these lines, it's always, I get a little, then you get more, and then the street value is going to pay you everything for it. That's the way the drug game works. Even if every single one of those boats is worth $50 million to Maduro and what's going on, do you realize how expensive it is every single time we sink one to them?
Yes, that's exactly right.
Do you realize why now we're getting to dictate policy to them? Because that money that's coming into their narco state is no longer getting to them?
And that Maduro was willing to take a call from Donald Trump? The fact that they spoke on the phone. Maduro tried to lay out his terms of stepping down as dictator of Venezuela. Donald Trump shot down everything that he asked for. He asked for his family to have full immunity internationally. He asked to maintain power over the military. And there was another that escapes me right now of the demands that Maduro, and of course, Donald Trump said no to all of them. And then that's when he conveniently closed down airspace aboard or above the skies of Venezuela.
See, as of right now, they will tell you about, well, how many of these strikes have there been? It's like, well, we're looking as of now that we can track probably about 12 of them. Well, every single one of them, let's just say they're worth $50 million apiece. Do you know now why Maduro is making that phone call?
Absolutely. 100%. I've been able to see it up close.
This is the big
personal
picture.
And it's crazy because then you send out, if you're able to pull over these boats, and it happens once in a while, very rarely, you're able to pull over, you send out the Coast Guard, you send out the Spec Ops guys on rib boats. They go out, board the vessel, seize the drugs, and arrest the people. Most of them aren't stopping. That's the thing that most people don't realize, the thing you're not seeing on the news at night. These boats aren't stopping.
Yeah, this isn't like pulling somebody over.
That's right. They have no desire to work with you, cooperate with you. They're trying to get away from you.
And again, in international waters, there's no reason for them to stop either.
Yeah, because who has legal precedent? Nobody.
Right. Nobody.
It's international. It's wild west.
They're just looking at it as, we'll just outrun you.
And a lot of times they can. Those cigar boats, because they can maneuver, those big Navy ships, it takes you can't keep up. But then when you have a full battle group with a battalion of Navy SEALs or whatever they've gotten down there, because there's definitely special ops down there, they then are able to tackle some of this. But the best way to do it is just off it. Just get rid of it altogether. How do we make this so dangerous that they don't want to do it anymore?
Right. How do we make it so dangerous and there is no longer a profit margin that's associated with this? How much money have you kept them from making?
And how do we send a message to Maduro? How do we send a message to Xi? How do we send a message to Scheinbaum in Mexico?
Yep.
To Putin? All of them.
All of them.
And that's what they're trying to accomplish.
That is the big picture, whereas the left is trying to play this for small potatoes, political victory.
And I would love to see what the polling says of just everyday Americans. What do you think about this?
Blow it up.
Absolutely right.
I'd be willing to bet.
I would too. Because, look, even if it's out of ignorance, people are just like, dude, I'm a patriot. If they say that's what we need to do, I'm behind our military. Let's go do it.
Well, this is also what the view of the left always has when it comes to our military servicemen and women, that they're stupid.
That's right. Yeah.
That these bumpkins don't know what they're doing. They're just shooting at people out on the water. It's like, no. Even somebody like Tug Cowart can tell you from 25 years ago, we knew exactly what was going on.
Nothing has changed.
Nothing. Exactly. Nothing has changed. The fact that Tug has not been in the service for 20 years, he's like, it was still the same thing. We saw it.
And the crazy thing is that all you have to do is go look it up. I didn't know, because I couldn't remember. I knew it was late 90s. I obviously knew the ship I was on. I knew where we were. So I just went to AI, and let me tell you, it's crazy what AI can come up with. It came up with all 3 instances that ship was involved in counter narcotics down in the Caribbean.
It's pretty good stuff.
Dude, it's amazing.
I know.
It's scary.
I've integrated it into my regular show prep, and so much of when I'm looking for that little bit of extra bit of data. When we talk about like integrating AI into what you're doing, think about it. AI was able to actually say, hey, Tug, by the way, when you were on that boat, here's what y'all did.
Here's what y'all did. Wow. So, yeah, which is nuts. I couldn't even remember it, and I lived it. AI found it within seconds.
Yeah.
And during the break, we found it.
Along those same lines, a buddy of mine was in the Coast Guard, and he was on the U.S. Coast Guard cutter Mohawk. And you can actually, I found the picture of him. He's holding a bale of cocaine. 37 bales of cocaine that they seized.
Think about how big a bale is.
I mean, he's a big guy.
A bale.
This thing, I'll show you during the break. It's huge. And I was able to then look up, all right, U.S. Coast Guard cutter Mohawk. They just seized in August the biggest offload of cocaine in Coast Guard history.
And that's just the cocaine part of it. And that's what we were doing then. Again, can you imagine the fentanyl, the chemicals that are able to, where you can able to cook up meth and fentanyl and all that sort of stuff? Those chemicals that are being transported along with those hard drugs. Can you imagine how much is in there?
And people too.
Yeah. And the damage it would absolutely do.
By the way, your bale of cocaine estimated is worth about $3 million.
Jeez. And how many were there?
37.
Exactly.
So you're well over $100 million in cocaine.
This is my buddy. I won't say his name, but it's just, it's funny to see him holding that thing. I'm like, you sure there weren't 38, buddy?
Yeah, exactly.
37 and a half.
Putting all the kids through college.
Well, but dude, now you know why those terrorists are so, or willing, those narcotics runners are so willing to do it. The value that we just explained in a country that's failed.
I mean, if you give me, if in the case of this situation, if you told me every run's worth $25,000 at that level, because the reason why we've had Americans who've gotten into this stuff,
and there are many of them,
is because the run might be worth $100,000. How many do you want to make?
Yeah.
25,000, but you got to avoid the Reaper drones.
Yeah. Well, good luck.
Yeah.
Good luck. Right now might not be the time to go.
It's a bad business.
Maybe want to dial it back a little bit. Morning Extra at Extra 106.3. We just wanted to share some of the insight that we have. And
yeah, because there's only one guy in this entire building who spent 4 years on a naval ship that was actually doing this work.
It's crazy to look back and think that you're a part of it. And I never thought that it would ever come up again. There was no reason for me doing country radio to talk about this. And now all of a sudden there's a whole new platform and a whole new opportunity to relive and remember and go, this is exactly what your boys and girls in uniform are tasked with.
And now you know the number of what y'all recovered while you were out there.
Freaking crazy.
That's wild.
$10 to $50 million. That's nuts. Absolutely nuts. Something you've been talking about, Los, for a really long time is turbo cancers. Now, all of a sudden, it's okay in mainstream media. We just bring it up.
Why did everybody come around to my side?
Took them a minute.
Took a few years.
Yeah.
But so you have Chris Cuomo, who has since, after leaving CNN, he's now gone, what is he, News Nation?
Mm-hmm.
And so he did his show, and he had somebody on. And what we talked about this at Governor's Gun Club. We said one of the issues that was going on with the COVID vaccine was that for some reason, your immune system that is geared up to always fight cancer. Like when you hear about people that get cancer, it's in part the immune system was tricked, cancer was able to grow, now you have cancer. We all have the ability to have cancer, it's our immune system fights it off. And so Chris Cuomo ends up finding somebody where their immune, they were cured of cancer. Then they took the vaccine, and then something occurred from there.
When you look in tumors, what are you seeing? There's now evidence that when they actually biopsy the tumors, there's the spike protein inside those tumors.
From COVID?
From COVID.
And then there's what happened with Jim Johnson. In 2022, he'd survived his HPV-related cancer for 7 years, and he'd taken the COVID vaccine. Then, his doctor gave him some shocking news. The cancer was back with a vengeance.
First person that they know of on the planet that had HPV metastasize onto his liver.
And they didn't know why.
Had no idea why.
This is why I worry when I'm now seeing 10-year-olds with colon cancer. I had a 13-year-old died in a clinic with pancreatic cancer. I'm seeing a lady who was very close to me who had a thymoma 30 years ago, never had remission for 30 years, got COVID, and now it's got metastasis.
When Pfizer and Moderna, as of now 2 and 3 years ago, bought cancer companies, why do you think they did that?
Cover.
Because they were planning on the next wave of treatment.
That's right.
It's as gross as it gets. But it took a guy, and this is where I will say, I don't know if people change. I know that maybe some views change. I hope that Chris Cuomo's changed. Remember what he was doing on CNN 4 and 5 years ago?
Yeah, I do. That's why I don't trust him now.
He was hiding out in his apartment, telling you, I've got COVID, and here's what I'm going to do. And then him and Don Lemon are doing the whole dance of, well, these people, you got to stay this far apart.
Yeah.
Chris Cuomo, at least, is now doing stories of, hey, we want to really mess some people up.
See, I think I know he's doing it, but I think now he's doing it because it's safe and he can lick his finger, figure out which way the wind's blowing. And now that it's blowing in that direction, where they're putting the warnings on boxes, so it's safe. He feels safe doing it. He's not risking anything.
He said the word that we couldn't put online. We used to have to say IVM to each other, which was ivermectin. He's actually talking about, well, and then you should probably take ivermectin. And then I took ivermectin, and you're like, whoa, hold on a second. Wasn't that supposed to be horse pace when it was Joe Biden in the office?
But that's why I say he's doing it now, because it's safe. There's nothing to lose. And the reason that he went along with it, I don't know what he believes, but the reason he went along with it, because that's what mainstream media did, and he wasn't going to be blackballed by talking about the wrong things.
Do you ever think that we went through this era where it truly was like as close as we can get to an American society to 1984, like Orwellian? Yeah. Here, you all better think the same thing. Here's what the state tells you. Like, that's where it was. And I'll credit Donald Trump. I'll credit Elon Musk. I think buying Twitter was such a huge factor. I think Donald Trump finding a way, and thank you, Fonnie Willis, for making sure to get a mugshot of him.
Yeah.
I think these things all coupled together to create this atmosphere now where you're seeing, and all we asked for was data. I think we now have at least a more open discussion than we ever had during the Biden years.
Sure.
From like 2020 to 2023 was the most archaic and ridiculous level of Orwellian tactics that was going on in this country.
And they'd gladly do it again.
Oh, I'd love to. That's what was it, the NPR lady who told us? Well, sometimes the truth gets in the way.
It gets in the way. That's exactly right. Was it Catherine Marr that said that?
Yeah.
I think, yeah.
She was letting us know. It's like, sometimes the truth. Well, the truth's a problem.
That's right. Can't tell everybody the truth, because then we don't progress the way we would like to progress, the direction that we want to progress, which is taking your liberty and freedom away.
I'm going to give Chris Cuomo the benefit of the doubt. If you keep doing these stories, then maybe, just as we're talking about black box warnings and the things that are getting out there, it's going to make it harder for people to deny that what was done to this country was brutal and wrong.
I think that's a fair assessment. I do. But I don't trust him as far as I can see him. I really don't.
Just keep doing those stories.
Yeah, right, because it is beneficial. I agree with that part. When we continue on Extra 106.3, Tim Walz. That theft story is so front and center, and he's trying to deflect from it every way he can next on Extra.
The latest sports news, powered by 680 The Fan, and driven to extra listeners by RBM of Atlanta in Sandy Springs, Atlanta's Mercedes-Benz connection since 1964.
Good morning. Here are your sports headlines for Tuesday, December 2nd. The Atlanta Hawks dropped the second game of their back-to-back to the Detroit Pistons in Detroit last night, 99-98 the final. The Hawks are off tonight. They are back at home on Wednesday night as they will play the LA Clippers. From college football, it's now all official. Former Ole Miss coach Lane Kiffin is now officially the new coach over at LSU. He gets a 7-year deal worth $91 million. University of Kentucky, they also have a new coach after firing Mark Stoops. They have hired Oregon offensive coordinator Will Stein as their next head coach. With your sports headlines, I'm Carlos Medina.
Can't be fly by night because you won't be able to depend on them if things don't go the way it's supposed to be. Do you realize that most exterior remodeling companies only last 4 years? So if that siding cracks or your roof leaks after you've worked with them, you're out of luck. You see, Southern Exteriors has been operating since 1999. Right here in Metro Atlanta, based in Jackson, Georgia. Just regular folks down there doing a good job, proudly serving Atlanta homeowners for over 26 years. Every warranty comes with actual peace of mind because they will still be here to honor it when they do that job. So if a problem ever comes up next year or 20 years later, you'll know where to find them, Jackson, Georgia. They ain't going to disappear. So you should go with a local company you can count on. If you're doing doors, windows, siding, roofing, gutters, all of that, anything to the exterior of your home, trust Southern Exteriors. Call them at 877-9-SOUTHERN or southernexteriors.co. It's southernexteriors.co.
Join Daniel Madelon, CEO of A Second Chance Bail Bonds, and co-host Tug Cowart as they bring together law enforcement, justice insiders, and voices from every part of the justice system, victims, advocates, and people who've turned their lives around. It's not PR, it's not fluff. It's an honest talk about what's working, what's broken, and how to build a better path forward, one second chance at a time. This week's guest is partner at Ross & Pines, one of Atlanta's leading criminal defense firms, Noah Pines. Justice Unfiltered. Unfiltered, informed, and unbiased.
It's midnight and the phone rings. It's a loved one calling from jail. They had a little too much fun at the holiday party and got pulled over. Now what? Time to call A Second Chance Bail Bonds. A Second Chance will get your loved one home quickly. For 20 years, they've been helping folks with 12 locations across Metro Atlanta and Birmingham and are available 24/7. For fast, professional, discreet services, call 404-BAILOUT. That's 404-BAILOUT or visit atlbail.com. A Second Chance Bail Bonds. It's better to know us and not need us than need us and not know us.
Hi, it's Los, here with Tom Mitchell, the honest car guy. Tom, you are changing the way people are buying their next pre-owned car or truck. How are you doing it?
We found a better way for customers to buy a car. An honest way, a very transparent way. You pay what we pay plus our honest fee. We even prove it to you by giving you a copy of the bill of sale at the end of the deal. The honest car guy, you'll save an average of $5,000 to $10,000 depending on the price of the car.
Folks, if you want to save thousands on your next pre-owned car or truck, call 844-SHOW-ME-1. That's 844-SHOW-ME1 or honestcarguy.com.
Jaron Solomon here, and every year there's a new phone, a new tablet, a new trend, but some things never lose their value or their sparkle. This Christmas, make it unforgettable at Solomon Brothers Jewelers. You'll find gifts that sparkle as bright as the season, from our famous diamond studs to timeless tennis bracelets and trendy yellow gold necklaces starting at $9.99. It seems like every year everything gets more expensive, except here. Our holiday gift guides make it easy to find the perfect piece, and with our low price guarantee and flexible financing, luxury has never been more accessible. This holiday season, choose timeless over temporary. Choose jewelry. Visit SolomonBrothers.com to explore the gift guides or book your private appointment today to further customize your shopping experience. Solomon Brothers, Atlanta's trusted Christmas destination for over 40 years.
Faith, family, freedom. These are the cornerstones of America and the foundation for a successful life. But today, all three are under attack. Crushing debt, out-of-control spending, and reckless policies in Washington are threatening your savings, your retirement, and your future. Hi, this is Glenn Beck. The only financial advisory firm I recommend in Atlanta is Nicholas Wealth Management. David Nicholas and his team believe protecting your money is about more than wealth. It's about defending your faith, your family, and your freedom. If your hard-earned retirement is left exposed to market chaos, higher taxes, or inflation, what happens to the life you've worked so hard to build? For over 20 years, David Nicholas has helped families right here in Atlanta fight back with retirement strategies built to better withstand uncertainty. Call Nicholas Wealth Management today, 404-890-5606, or visit nicholaswealth.com. Aim to safeguard your future today.
Nicholas Wealth is an independent financial services firm that uses a variety of different investment strategies.
Political violence cannot stand. And Extra 106.3 will continue on as the conservative voice of reason in Atlanta. We'll speak our mind, protect our values, and stand up for each other responsibly. Count on the Morning Extra, Glenn Beck, Clay and Buck, The Kimmer, and the legend Neil Bortz to always have your back. Proud to be the conservative voice of Atlanta. Extra 106.3 FM and the Extra app.
Tug and Los until 10 on the Morning Extra at Extra 106.3. And download the app so you can listen live and on demand. We've had so many good discussions this morning. I mean, I feel like we always do, but today has just been next level. So if you missed any of it, make sure you go back and listen on the app. It's available for you there for free, not charging you a thing. Just support the advertisers when you need their product or services. That's all we ask. Give them the first shot to earn your business. Tim Walz, man, we are so lucky that man was not a part of a presidential election victory with Kamala Harris. This dude is dirty and low down.
If they ever find a worthy opponent, the kind of person where you're like, uh-oh, then I would be more concerned with the future of the Democrat Party in terms of the top of the ticket. You're always going to be able to have success in some of these liberal enclaves. That's what's going to happen. But the best they could do when they were coupling Kamala Harris was, let's find a guy that's going to be able to sell. We have a man problem. Let's go see if we can find ourselves a man. And they gave us Tim Walz, which, not to be ugly about it, but when I was kind of giving him side eye, Tug was the first person who said to me, hey man, did you notice how he always waves with jazz hands? Have you seen him when he does those kicks? And I was trying to kind of play it straight up. I don't want to point out the obvious, but
I've never seen a dude do that.
I've never seen a
guy's guy. I've never seen a guy's guy.
I've never seen a dude who's a dude do that.
Unless you're doing it mockingly.
Yes.
Oh, look, hey.
Like fun.
Yeah.
Like, I just scored a touchdown. Jazz hands.
Yeah, right. So did Michelle.
Right.
We were talking about the game he went to.
Jazz hands.
Out at the Rose Bowl. He hit off jazz hands there. But that's almost mocking. He's like, look at me.
Right. Whereas Tim Walz was coming out of from backstage, and it was like, jazz hands.
Look like
hey, everybody.
Look like a cheerleader.
Yes.
Yeah, that's exactly.
Look like a little lady man. So anyway, and again, Tug Howard, first one to call it what it was. You're right, Tug. He's very lady manish.
Once in a while.
I was like, man, Tug's bringing it before I did. I'm going to leave that one alone. Let Tug do it. But so the fun part has been, you have him who went on the Sunday shows, and we played the audio from yesterday just to kind of keep it short for you. He was talking about when it was brought up that you had Somalis that were in Minneapolis, Minnesota, stole $1 billion. Autism claims, basically stole it from Medicaid, Medicare.
Let that just swim around.
$1 billion.
$1 billion.
And Tim Walz said, well, I was the one to put him in jail. First off, no, you weren't.
Mm-mm.
The federal government is the one who was like, this is what it is. Tim Walz, you didn't have anything to do with it. So what did he do to deflect from that? Tim Walz then decided, well, I'm going to focus on Donald Trump's health. Let me try and create something, a side look. And so he was like, the president is unwell. Release the MRI results.
Okay.
And so you had Donald Trump's physician, the physician to the president, went ahead and released a summary of the advanced imaging results. They also copied Caroline Levitt on here. And what did it basically say? All the testing that was done, everything came back normal. Cardiovascular, abdomen, intestinal. They were like, everything's normal. So what exactly does Tim Walz have to say now after taking 2 L's in the span of a week? Now it's back on him.
That's right. Well, now you ain't going to see him anywhere. That's what.
He's going to run. He's going to go run and hide.
He's not going to be anywhere because he knows somebody will ask him. Even some of the mainstream media outlets push back the tiniest bit once in a while. He's not going to go out there and face that. He's going to disappear. He's going to be quiet.
There are topics that the left can rally around. that will be popular. Might not be popular with us, but it's popular amongst their group. So what one of them might be, hey, we have to fix this health care. And of course, you have the general politicians like, yes, we have to fix this health care. And the Republicans are the problem. And we need to get these subsidies. And that's what they do. That's how they talk to one another. What you're finding out is that Somalis stealing $1 billion ain't popular with anybody, including the left.
Yeah, right. And definitely not Republicans, definitely not independents. And level-headed, Bill Maher, classic liberals, they're going to be like, you let $1 billion and you knew about it and you were afraid. The sheriff of the town, literally the police department, they were the chief of police or the sheriff, don't quote me which, but was afraid. He even went out and apologized to people for saying that they stole this money, knowing it was true.
Knowing it was stolen.
He was afraid. The local media was afraid. Walls was afraid because the Somalis said, if you do this, if you say a word, we're going to call you racist. We're going to call you bigoted.
Gave you the number a little bit earlier. Let's do it again. This comes from C3C3. The autism claims to Medicaid in Minnesota after the Somalians opened up their own centers, which was the key aspect of this. They opened up their own diagnosis centers and then claimed that was because it was a cultural-centered issue. That's why they didn't want oversight. That's why they didn't want anybody else. And if you attempted to say, hey, why are y'all claiming this amount of money? They would say, are you racist?
You have to be. You must be.
So they were using American culture against the left. They'd already figured out how to get the left to shut up.
And if you read that New York Times article, there is and I brought this up earlier, there is a professor, a Somali professor. He teaches Somali culture, history in one of the local Minneapolis community colleges. He said, it's kind of part of our culture to steal, and the American people made it really easy, so they did.
Here's how easy. $3 million in 2018. That was the claims in Medicaid when it came to autistic children. By the next year, it's $54 million. Okay. Well, now the gravy train's running. Now we figure this game out. It went to $77 million. Well, no one's saying anything. Not after 54 and 77 million. So what happens from here? 2021, $183 million. Well, still, the governor's not saying anything. 2022, $279 million. And by the last trackable year, 2023, remember, we went from $3 million in 2018, this fraud, to $399 million in 2023. That's how much money the Somalis stole from you.
What an incredible number, dude. You have to laugh at it because it's $1 billion. You're ready to flip over a table.
And Tim Walz is right in the middle of all this. So what did he do? I'm going to claim I put him in jail. No, you didn't. What about President Trump's health? Okay, that was taken care of. Now what, Timmy?
I'm going to run and hide. I'm not saying a word.
I'm going to disappear for a while.
I'm going to disappear until the coast is clear, until this story blows over.
And to think, no one ever thought to themselves, when you had the one Democrat, their one congresswoman in their state house who was killed when she didn't vote for the rest of the Democrats when it came to money for illegals. Mm-hmm. When the killer said, yeah, Tim had me do her and he wanted me to do Amy Klobuchar. No, how did that controversy go away?
Being quiet, a compliant media.
He sent me to kill her and he wanted me to kill this other person.
Oh, I think that's the filth that's happening. It's unreal. It's unreal. And guess who's not asking questions? The mainstream media. Why? Because they're on his side. Of course they're not going to ask questions about that. That's how...
Tim Walz's last post was almost 20 hours ago, so yeah, when that information dropped, he disappeared.
Dead silent. Sunny Hostin's at The View is mad about blowing up terrorists because, of course, she is. Next on Extra.
It's time for the Bortz Report, exclusively on Atlanta's only conservative news and talk station, Extra 106.3.
There's a bit of a trend going on around the country in major cities you might not have heard of. Guaranteed basic income. There's even a coalition of 150 mayors across the country that are pushing these programs. Right now, the idea is a guaranteed basic income of $1,000 a month with no strings attached. Spend it on whatever you want to spend it on. And the story in Fox News proudly states that most of these people are spending this money on basic necessities. Cook County, Illinois, Chicago is the latest. I read through the story twice. One thing they failed to mention: in order to come up with this $1,000 a month for these Cook County so-called citizens, the county first has to take it away from the citizens that actually earned this money and give it to those who did not. None of the politicians mention this. I guess they don't think it's important. And you don't see the news stories mention it either. The people who get the money that somebody else earned like the program, so that's all the reason you need to extend it. Besides, what a great thing for politicians. When an election comes along, all they have to do is say, I pledge to increase the amount of your basic income. Wow, I'm voting for you. Just like government union workers always vote for the politician that promises them more retirement benefits. Form your own conclusion, folks, but before I go, let me remind you that the fair tax makes sure that not one household in the United States pays a penny to government until they meet their own basic needs. But that takes power away from politicians. It doesn't give power to politicians, so it's a non-starter. Neil Bortz, Extra 106.3.
An investment in your home is something that will pay off in the future, but it's something that you can enjoy right now. Hi, I'm Dan Watkins, owner of All Four Seasons Garage, Entry Doors, and Windows. A beautiful new garage door, entry doors, and windows are an investment you can love every day, and they will increase your home's value, energy efficiency, and curb appeal. All Four Seasons, trusted in Atlanta for over 25 years, exceptional customer service, and high-quality work. When trust matters, trust us. All the number 4 seasonsgarages.com.
Georgia Tech women's basketball single game tickets for the 2025-2026 season are on sale now. Secure your seats in McCamus Pavilion to watch head coach Karen Blair and the Yellow Jackets take on ACC opponents like North Carolina, Stanford, and Louisville. Save your seats to watch head coach Karen Blair and the Yellow Jackets back at the Thrillerdome this season by visiting RamlinRack.com/tickets. Sting 'em.
WFOM and W292EV Marietta, a Dickey broadcasting station. The 9 a.m. hour is presented by Southern Exteriors. Quality and precision you can rely on.
More voters can go to more polls in Tennessee now. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News, on special election day to fill a vacant seat in Congress.
I need every Republican to bundle up and get out to the polls today.
That's GOP candidate Matt Van Epps facing a strong blue challenge from an opponent he calls a socialist. In a district that's typically red, President Trump won it by 22 points last year, but Democrat Afton Bain says
they should have been delivering for Tennessee voters and the American people rather than scapegoating and terrorizing our communities.
Congress will be investigating a growing controversy. The U.S. military operation off Venezuela's coast, blowing up boats said to be trafficking illegal drugs and killing dozens of so-called narco-terrorists, with one attack 3 months ago in question.
The White House is defending Secretary of War Pete Hegseth over questions being asked by congressional investigators, lawmakers, about a September boat strike which targeted alleged members of a narcotics gang. The White House says it was not Secretary Hegseth, but instead an admiral over at the Pentagon who had ordered this strike back in September after an initial strike had taken out the boat, but that there had been survivors on board.
That's Fox's Mark Meredith at the White House, where President Trump may talk more about that operation at a cabinet meeting later this morning. Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem will be there and may talk about what she proposed on social media that Fox's Chris Foster details.
The full travel ban on countries she says are flooding our nation with killers, leeches, and entitlement junkies. She writes, our forefathers built this nation on blood, sweat, and the unyielding love of freedom, not for foreign invaders to slaughter our heroes, suck dry our hard-earned tax dollars, or snatch the benefits owed to Americans. We don't want them, not one. A Homeland Security spokesperson says a list of nations affected by the proposed travel ban would be announced soon.
President Trump imposed a travel ban on 12 countries earlier this year, including Afghanistan, where the suspected gunman in last week's National Guard shooting came from. America's listening to Fox News.
So Pure Talk is offering unlimited talk, text, and data on a crazy fast 5G network for just $29.95 a month for life. Not your phone's life, your life. This top-tier plan is normally $65 a month, but if you switch today, you'll save over 50% every month for the rest of your life. You might say it's the deal of your lifetime. Just dial pound 250, say Mike Rowe. Offer expires 12/7. Some restrictions apply. Details at puretalk.com.
An official message from Medicare.
Couple more minutes, and we'll start this month's book club.
You know, I usually love a plot twist, but this year, I'm comparing my options during Medicare open enrollment.
You can't assume your current health or drug plan is the best one for you.
And you gotta make sure your drugs are covered. That's important.
So is saving money.
Review all your options at Medicare.gov. Open enrollment ends December 7th. Paid for by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services.
Get the Extra 106.3 app.
Yeah, I got your app. I'm so glad Conservative Talk is back on the air.
Tug and Los until 10 on the Morning Extra and Extra 1063. If you're just joining us, man, it has been a busy morning. And it'll continue in this last hour as well. We'll get into a little bit of the Nashville election.
We're not slacking.
No, we are not. Today, look, I don't think we slack on any days, just to be honest with you. I mean, granted, there's some show days are just A pluses. Sometimes it's a B. But today's been an A plus, and it's not due to lack of effort by any means. So we appreciate you being here. Appreciate you trusting us.
What is it you told me? You said we're driving up to Memphis.
That's right, and we're going to finish the job that the king started. And that's my fear is that. And I'll say this because I'm expect the worst, hope for the best. That job is not allowing a socialist to be elected in Nashville. Nashville's a liberal town. Labels are liberal, man. And there's so much liberal there. It still should scare you that a person that says, I hate country music, I hate bachelor parties, I hate the city, I hate everything about it, let me represent it.
Oh, and also, when it comes to funding the police,
yeah, she wouldn't comment.
When you said, and this was on X, good morning to the 52% of people that agree with burning down police stations.
Yeah.
It's like, well, you're definitely nuts.
Yeah, you are absolutely. Yet, and Lo said it, and it's so true. That should speak for itself, but we have such a voter problem in America. It doesn't. My dear Aunt Peg, if she could, she'd drive up there and vote for her today. Just to despite everything that is Donald Trump, because that's what she thinks she would be doing.
We are a month removed from a man being on the ballot in Virginia who said he wanted to kill the kids of his political rival. And they were like, it's fine.
No worries. Elect him. Yeah, it's all good.
Check the box.
And the lady that Spanberger that became is the governor-elect says she can't wait to get into schools to teach gender ideology, and she doesn't care what parents think. Let's elect her. And they did.
Again, you have a voter problem in these places. And oftentimes I feel like a lot of this comes back to, especially when it comes to people on the left, they will look at these scenarios and think, well, it's not really going to affect me until it does. And then they're looking around going like, why didn't you tell me?
But establishment Republicans the same way.
Yeah.
It's never going to affect us. It's never going to affect. It's way over there. I've heard that a million times about gender ideology in schools. Oh, that only happens out there.
That's in Washington State.
It's not.
No.
Do not make that mistake. There are even if it's 20%, let's say it's 10% of your community, and that 10% is active, and they get out and move the needle when it comes to voting, and they get one person elected, that's just the beginning. That's just the crack in the shield. If we can get more people elected, we will, and they'll try it everywhere. They've been emboldened, I believe. They've been emboldened by New York City.
Well, we're going to find out today. We're going to see,
which I hope you're right about,
where the status is going to be at. I believe if you have enough of a turnout, you have enough people that are talking about this. Granted, the Democrats are pumping in a bunch of money they don't have into this election in Nashville because they just won. Let's face it, big scheme of things. This is not a giant election. This is not a major election. But the significance for each side of, can I turn my people out, or can we get another far left loon in? That's the competition here.
Momentum.
Yes. That's all this is.
Right. And let me tell you, if you want to inspire the left to go, hey, we keep winning. Look at, granted, it was in blue states, blue cities, those off election year votes. That's all it was. In governors in blue states that got elected. But that was enough of a momentum cry that now in Nashville, all of a sudden, do you see the snowball building? Do you see the momentum flowing? That's all they're looking for. If they can build that momentum and take it into the midterms, guess what happens to the Trump administration? Guess what happens to all the positive strides that we've made? They go away.
If you continue to have fanatical people that are elected, then they're also going to expect fanatical results out of it.
Of course.
So when you impeach the president every 2 days, you might say, oh, that seems extreme. They wouldn't really do that.
Yes, they would.
Yeah, they would.
Give me one thing that you don't think that they would try.
Nothing. I've already seen it all in the last several years.
Exactly right. There's nothing. You can make up any scenario, send it to me, and I guarantee you, if they get a chance, they'd try it. Any scenario.
I mean, we're at the point where I will sit back and say, well, the global pandemic worked.
And it did.
Yeah, well, the drop boxes
worked.
All right. How about the other things they tried? They tried 34 felony counts.
And it worked for a long time.
They tried a case here based on a president contacting people in the state and saying, what the hell is going on with your vote?
They went after and impeached a president for saying, calling up Ukraine and going, hey, something isn't right about what's happening in your country. Something smells bad.
Something smells bad here. Well, let's impeach him.
We have to. He's on to us.
How about, as we just continue down this rabbit hole, where you say a bridge too far.
There's none.
You have a kid in a BlackRock commercial that after you whitewashed everything that he was involved in, it took actually independent journalists to find some more stuff out about Thomas Crooks, who actually put a hole in the president's ear. To follow that up with somebody who had some sort of weird loose affiliation with the State Department that was discovered by Mike Pence, and he had been trying to recruit Afghan soldiers for use for the CIA in Ukraine. That guy was waiting on a golf course, waiting to shoot Donald Trump.
And because you brought up CIA, let's talk about the shooter of the National Guardsman in Washington, D.C. and the connection to the CIA.
CIA affiliate, worked with the strike force. That was a Afghan militant group that was basically a CIA asset of Afghanis.
Shot 2 National Guardsmen in our nation's capital. One is dead, one is finally talking.
And it took Laura Logan to actually be able to uncover, here's the man's ID, here's his affiliation to the CIA. Now, the CIA and everybody else will say, and of course people will hear this and say, well, I mean, he can't possibly still have that. We'll see.
Yeah. What would convince you otherwise? That would be my question.
The amount of things that we can bring up, and at no point, because as we're saying, when you are willing to elect people that are this fanatical, when you're pushing this level of fanaticism, is there really an area that I can bring up where we say, well, that's too far?
No.
It's not too far for them.
No, absolutely
It hasn't been too far for them for the better part of a decade.
And then they'll break out both sides.
Of course, yes.
Where are the other examples on the other side? I've yet. I'm not saying it couldn't happen. I'm not saying it's never happened. Give me the examples. I'll wait because I've still not seen any.
I know that when we're talking about places like New York, right now there is a young man who is, as their early phase of his trial, there's entire groups of people that are there to celebrate a guy who shot and killed a healthcare CEO. That doesn't exist on my side. Something that doesn't exist in my neighborhood doesn't exist in my city. Like, we're not sitting there going like, celebrate it, glad you did it.
I think Joe Biden's the most corrupt. And look, a lot of the corruption, because I think he was corrupt before the dementia kicked in. I feel terrible for him. I hate that he has dementia. It's terrible. It's a horrible disease. I wouldn't wish it on anybody. But what happened under him, that was the most corrupt administration in the world. They said, well, we can't prosecute him. He's too old. He's too old. You can't do that. What? You're going to put him in jail? He'll die tomorrow.
He was corrupt as a VP because he thought that was the end of his political career.
And so he was like, I'm going out with a blaze of glory.
I'm going to make at the apple.
I'm going to make some money. I'm going to make a lot of money. Allegedly.
Well, we know he made it.
Yeah.
We know it went through a bunch of shell companies. Yeah. We know it. And then he pardoned his whole family on the way out. So maybe allegedly isn't really something I have to use here.
Yeah. Certainly doesn't seem like it. But so those are a few things that we've maybe covered this morning.
And covered a little bit this morning. How about this? How about when it comes to The View? And again, we're now into hour 3, hour 4 on MS Now and its GOP leaders support investigation into boat strikes. Okay, first off, if you're playing into this op, you're the problem.
And there's Republicans who are.
Because we have had a number of Republicans say, well, this is a color revolution. This is all a bunch of silliness. One of the aspects that keeps being brought up, we said the buzzword, war crime. War crime. It's a war crime. It seems like it fits like a war crime. A war crime. First off, when you are a terrorist organization, as has been pointed out and designated by this administration and by this president and acknowledged, once you're a terrorist organization, you're no longer considered the possibility of being uniformed personnel. If we had a bunch of people in North Korean uniforms that were running drugs across the sea, well, that's different. That's a representative of a state.
There's a flag on the shoulder.
There's a flag on the shoulder.
A designation.
They are designated not just by the Geneva Convention, but you also have the International Court that recognizes they have a legal status. And so if there is a conflict, let's say the North Koreans shot at you and you proceeded to blow up their boat, and there are people that are out there, you have to grant them POW status.
Right. That's right. You have to, you have to give them health care. You have to you can't torture them to get information out of them.
Right. You have to give them legal status. That is a part of not having a war crime. Terrorists are different. In fact, terrorists technically cannot be murdered. That is something that it's very hard for people to what do you mean they can't be murdered? If you're a terrorist, it is not possible. If you're in the middle of terrorism, for instance,
conducting a terrorist operation or activity,
there is no such thing as murder by any law in this country or internationally. If you're a terrorist taking part in a terrorist act, terrorist organization, a terrorist activity, there's no such thing as murder.
You're fair game.
So with that being said, let's listen to what The View had an argument with yesterday.
Well, I know this is why those Democratic vets put out that video last week that people said, why would they need to say what's already obvious, that, military personnel, they don't need to, they can refuse to act on an illegal order. And people were like, yeah, but there's nothing like that. Well, this is a situation where there were clearly in the cameras 2 men on parts of the explosion, and then they're killed. So the likelihood of this is, it's not a war. We're not at war with Venezuela, but it's murder. It's flat out murder. And anyone that acted on those orders could be held on war crimes. Am I?
The most ironic thing about this is, so he's doing all of this against Venezuela. And let me just be clear. Nicolás Maduro in Venezuela is a horrible, cruel, corrupt dictator.
Yes.
The day he leaves, whether it is to a hellhole somewhere or if he dies and goes to hell, I will be very happy. But I think America needs to ask themselves, do we want to perpetrate regime change in the region? Donald Trump is trying to convince Americans that this is about fighting drugs, and this is because Maduro released crazy people, opened up the jails and the insane asylums, and sent people here. That second part is flat out lies. There is no evidence of that.
All right, so there's a lot to unwrap here.
Yeah, no doubt.
But their argument is still going back to, well, once you've hit them, the terrorists, with a strike, and they're in the water and they're struggling for life, well, hitting them again, well, that's a war crime. Hold on a second. Are you still considered a terrorist who has a political belief, or you're driven by money? Are you, as a live person, still considered a threat?
Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Because as soon as he's picked up by the other drug boats that'll come and pick him up eventually,
he's right back in circulation.
He's right back into business. And then when she brought up the Democrat veterans, that brought up the seditious six, as we like to call them, there was nothing that had happened. They couldn't answer the question of the illegal orders. That's because it hadn't happened yet. They were working backwards.
Yes.
They were already planting the seed of what was going to happen because they already knew back in September that boat was blown up. So before that story blows up, they put out the video. Then the Washington Post drops the story. They dovetail together.
By the way, and you can use the NGOs accordingly. Why do you think, and again, I know this is connecting a lot of dots, but this is what you have to understand how this all works. By the time the story appears in the Washington Post, and it's totally bogus, you know that we already had NGOs that were spending money around the country. And the only reason I know about it, I saw about the pictures on X. I went, that's weird. I used to previously work for the company in iHeart and also Cumulus to a certain extent that own billboards. You had NGOs buying billboards pointing out to veterans, hey, you don't have to follow these orders.
NGO usually means a cover of someone, in my opinion, because they're using taxpayer dollars to do all kinds of devious things, including launder money back to the Democrats.
The CIA cannot operate domestically.
Oh,
so they use NGOs to do so.
Launder money, too.
That's how it's done. So by the time that you have billboards around the country telling you about, hey, you don't have to follow illegal acts, you have the Seditious Six, you have this operation, they already decided they're going to plug it in, and again, it's all for a political victory and for you to then have less belief in your current administration. I like the fact that Pete Hegseth is like, here, Franklin blows up terrorists.
Yeah.
Basically treating y'all like children.
Absolutely right.
It's like, good. And then this guy's sick. Better than the 4-star guy who was a man pretending to be a woman.
Yeah.
Don't tell me about who's sick.
And who's the Democrats defending right now? Are they defending our men and women in uniform?
Terrorists.
They're defending terrorists.
Terrorists and people that are here illegally.
404-741-1230. Bill in Kennesaw. What's on your mind, Bill?
Hey, listen, on this Venezuelan drug boat thing, whether it's legal or not, blah, blah, blah. Okay, I'm a retired airline pilot. We have what's known as an air defense identification zone, which is like a 200-mile band around all of our coastline that if an aircraft penetrates that without squawking a pre-approved clearance number, transponder number, we have a legal right under international law to intercept them and or shoot them down. Why don't we have a coastal defense identification zone for boats?
Look, we should. We absolutely should.
And I appreciate the call. I don't know if you got a chance to hear a little bit earlier. Tug, during his naval service days, we went through the numbers. What was it?
10 to 50 million
is what you were talking about, the recovery when y'all were on those operations.
And this was 1998, and I hadn't thought about it in years, so I went to Grok just to see if I could find something. Typed it in, USS South Carolina, counter-narcotics cruise. It brought it all up.
And the interesting part about it is that you all knew, along with the Coast Guard, what the routes are.
Everybody knows.
You knew by the vehicle, you're like, okay, that's a drug boat.
Cigar
that's
boats.
A drug boat. Yeah.
It's always cigar boats because they're so fast, they're so agile, they can turn on a dime.
And that's what you keep seeing getting blown up on TV, exactly. And they keep trying to tell you because they are the left. Well, it might be fishermen. Fishermen aren't in cigar boats.
There's no need for them to. How fast do you go typically when you're fishing? Because usually, I thought you're sitting still, maybe even dropped an anchor. Bill, we appreciate your call.
Thank you, Bill.
You're always welcome on the show. 404-741-1230, 9 o'clock hours, brought to you by Southern Exteriors, your home exterior solution since 1999. If you want me to believe the mainstream media had no idea about Tim Walz and his scandal and his Somali problems, I'll refresh your memory about how they treated him with an extra flashback next.
If you listen to Extra, share it with a friend. It's how we grow and how we can reach everyone in the Atlanta community that believes in the American way of life. If you value the station, help us grow by telling someone about the Extra 106.3 app.
Atlanta Braves single game tickets for the 2026 season are now on sale. Get your tickets for some exciting NL East matchups next season, plus great series against the Red Sox, Cubs, Dodgers, and more. And snag the first giveaway of the season, the Drake Baldwin Rookie of the Year bobblehead presented by Coca-Cola on March 31st during the opening homestand.
Baldwin sends one soaring, got a shot, and that is out of here.
And fans can also look forward to the return of some popular ticket packages, including Hello Kitty, Girls Night Out, and Father's Day Catch on the Field, which includes a 20-minute session on the field after the game to play catch. And the Braves are excited to also announce some brand new ticket packages honoring pop culture icons SpongeBob and Snoopy. And it's never too soon to plan your group outing. Great seats and hospitality spaces are also on sale. So visit Braves.com/promos to see more details and purchase your tickets. Atlanta Braves Baseball. We are Braves Country.
This is Jonathan Geller at D. Geller & Son Jewelers. My dad, Mike. Dad, what's the all-time best Christmas gift?
Diamond studs. Everybody needs a pair.
And ours don't break the bank. Real diamonds set in gold from just $275. And with D. Geller & Son's lifetime upgrade, get 100% of what you paid towards a bigger pair anytime for life.
We also have diamond jackets for $595 that go around the studs to instantly change the look.
So come spend the holidays with the experts at D. Geller & Son in Kennesaw, Sandy Springs, and online at dgeller.com.
For 4 decades, Project Share and the Salvation Army have helped Georgia families through temporary crisis, keeping essential services on and hope within reach.
You can contribute to Project Share directly from your monthly electric bill, and Georgia Power will amplify your gift with a 150% match. To donate, visit georgiapower.com/projectshare or call 1-800-SAL-ARMY. Together, we can provide help for families in crisis. Please donate today.
Hey, this is Matt from East Cobb. We basically bought our house from our in-laws. It was my wife's childhood home. One of the issues that we've had when we first moved in was our dog in our backyard. It was extremely shaded, could never grow grass back there. We resodded it twice. So ATL Turf Co. did an amazing job with our backyard transformation. They basically created a miniature golf hole. We have a miniature fairway. We also have a miniature little putting green. Consists of about 4 holes, total about 40 yards. So you can definitely work on your short game and your putting. After that transformation that ATL Turf Co. did for us, my father-in-law came and saw his house the way it looked after the fact of we had a putting green and a miniature golf course. Sure enough, he did the same thing with ATL Turf Co. He has a beautiful backyard, wonderful stonework, drainage, and a beautiful practice area for chipping and putting. Check him out online at atlturfco.com.
Did you know that there are over 34,000 lawyers in the state of Georgia? Yet despite that huge number, Bruce Hagan was recently named by his peers as one of the top 100 lawyers in the state. Do you know who is not among the top 100 lawyers in the state? Some clown standing on top of an 18-wheeler. Those kind of lawyers may make flashy ads, but they're just marketers, not real lawyers. If you've been injured in a car wreck, you need Bruce Hagan, a real lawyer who tries cases and wins. Call Bruce Hagan. He's the real deal for your injury case. Hagan-law.com.
A golf instructor who knows technique can improve an aspiring pro's swing. But one who really cares can help transform a career.
There he is, your new champion.
When you team up with someone who knows a lot and cares even more, you're unstoppable. At Truist, we believe the same is true for banking. Truist, leaders in banking, unwavering in care. Truist Bank, member FDIC, leading based on top 10 U.S. commercial bank.
The year-end rush is on at Mike Patton Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram in LaGrange. Now through December 20th only, when you get any new or pre-owned Chrysler Dodge Jeep or Ram, you get a choice. A $500 Visa gift card, or we'll make your first payment. Shop hundreds of vehicles right now at MikePattonAuto.com with clear, transparent pricing and fast, no-hassle buying. Get to Mike Patton Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram on Lafayette Parkway or start shopping now at MikePattonAuto.com. Drive a little, save a lot. MikePattonAuto.com.
The stories that matter to you. These are your Georgia headlines.
It's Tuesday, December 2nd. The Georgia Lottery announced a major milestone, passing $30 billion in funds raised for Georgia education programs like pre-K and the Hope Scholarship. Governor Kemp praised the lottery, pointing out that 2.2 million children have taken advantage of free pre-K, and another 2 million students have attended college with the Hope Scholarship since the lottery's founding in 1993. A fundraising effort is underway in Hiram after a fire broke out on Thanksgiving Day at a Hiram police officer's home. Spalding fire officials responded with multiple units, but strong winds made the fire especially difficult to put out. Officials say the home is a total loss, but no other homes were damaged. The nonprofit group Paulding Public Safety Appreciation has started a fundraiser for the officer and his family. You can find a link to the fundraiser at the Hiram Police Department's Facebook page. And one Atlanta zip code has been ranked among the top 10 places to move in the country. The hottest zip codes report by Moving Place ranks zip code 30346 number 9, citing its proximity to the city, major office parks, and access to high-end shopping. Today's weather mostly cloudy and wet with highs in the upper 40s. With your headlines, I'm Jerry Payne for Extra 106.3.
Tug and Los until 10 on the Morning Extra. The conversations continue about the Venezuelan drug strikes, especially after the great call we got from Bill in Kennesaw. Thank you so much, Bill, for being part of the show, and you're always welcome too. Bill in Kennesaw. We write a song about you, Bill. At 404-741-1230 at Extra 106.3 across the social media platforms. I was reading an article from the New York Times that basically debunks the Washington Post's story that said Pete Hegseth gave the kill everyone order. New York Times says not true.
True.
Can you imagine the New York Times is fact-checking the Washington Post? What has happened?
Because the Washington Post is being fed this entire story more than likely by CIA contacts.
Exactly right. And it boils down to Admiral Bradley, who ordered the initial strike and then the follow-up strikes that killed the initial survivors in that boat that sank. As the operation unfolded, they said Mr. Hegseth did not give any further orders to the Admiral. But as I told Los, I'm very proud to see Donald Trump specifically, because he was asked about it, and he said he stood by the Admiral, as well as Pete Hegseth. So they're standing by the Admiral who gave the order to do the job that was intended to be done.
We also said during the break, as we were throwing around some different ideas, if you want to make this more complicated, then let Venezuela start using uniformed personnel, military personnel, to do this sort of work, and let them use Venezuelan ships. Because now it changes.
That changed the dynamic altogether.
Right. But that's the problem. Venezuela does not want to be looked at as a country that runs drugs.
Even though we know they are.
By their own state.
But they don't want to appear that way, so they can't. Now, again, hypothetical, would those, the narco-terrorists, the ones that are running the cigar boats and the drug boats, would they be smart enough to just get uniforms? I don't know, at the Army-Navy store or something, and then put it on just to cause an issue.
They would be better off if they were uniformed personnel operating slower boats and slowly making their way over to Mexico.
And not using the drug lanes that are always used, and not doing 50 knots, as you're talking about. Like a fishing boat.
Of course, it's easier to get them stopped.
That's right. But maybe run some fishing poles off the side of the boat. Something. Disguise it somehow or other. And instead of doing what drug runners have done for 40, 50 years or so.
Yeah, not really going to work when there's drones in the area.
Yeah, no, I guess you're right. Yeah, the drones do. That's the great equalizer, because you have cameras, you have uplinks, you'd be able to see everything that's on the boat. You'd be able to see everything. That does change things quite a bit. The Somali story is not going anywhere, even though Tim Walz tried his best. How do I deflect from this?
Yeah, didn't he?
How do I change the discussion? Well, Donald Trump, he's not well.
Check out Trump's health. Oh, look at that. Yeah. In fact, the only thing he didn't get involved in, because I thought it was funny that Trump gave a sorry, not sorry, when the reporter on Air Force One was like, well, do you stand by what you said? You called him retarded. And immediately Trump is like, yeah, there's something wrong with him.
Yeah,
there's something wrong with this dude.
Absolutely. He was smart, though. He didn't use the word again, because he'd already gotten flack. So he just said, yes, I stand by it.
There's something wrong with him.
He didn't have to say it again.
Yeah, it's like, here you go.
I want to flash you back to when Donald Trump was running for office, and then the switch happened. Kamala Harris is now the leader of the Democrat Party in the ticket running against Trump, and she has selected Tim Walz.
That was surprising, considering we all thought it looks like Josh Shapiro.
Makes the most sense.
Maybe we talked about Mark Kelly again, 2 swing states. And then when we started to hear, she might be going with somebody else. It was like Pete Buttigieg. Mm-hmm. I mean, she's got to pick. It can't be another woman.
Nope.
It's got to be some other man. And by the time it was Walz, I remember the next day we all talked about, I think we dodged a bullet here.
Yes, we did. But look how the mainstream media covered him being the VP pick.
Midwestern dad, like super clean cut vibe.
Everybody likes
right?
Tim Walz.
So plain spoken and relatable.
As moderate and independent as it comes. Pretty moderate Democrat.
I always knew him as a moderate. One of the most moderate.
Very moderate record.
A new moderate. I think this is the new moderate.
Far from progressive.
Right there.
Far from progressive. They say far from progressive, which was a complete and utter lie. And these are the same people that already knew. The media already knew about this Somali story. It had already been suppressed. It had already been pushed down.
Yes.
Yet they took it to the air and sold it to the American people. This guy's a moderate. This guy's an all-American dad.
He's a coach.
He's a football coach.
Look at him. Look at him when he's out here hunting.
National Guard.
He told us he was holding a weapon of war on duty in a war zone. He'd never been anywhere outside of Italy.
And then went to China for his honeymoon.
When his unit deployed, he retired.
So that's the all-American guy that they told you about.
But you know what really worked the best? Because I didn't know Tim Walz from a hole in the wall, right? I didn't know who this guy. Now, I knew, he's the governor of Minnesota. And the first thing I thought, well, here's a strategic mistake. You have 7 swing states. Minnesota's not one of them.
That's right.
So you picked a guy from a state that you believe you're going to win, unless you were worried about it. Yeah, that's kind of a weird part. But the nickname, it stuck. And it worked.
Tampon Tim.
Tampon Tim.
Because he was the guy that wanted to put tampons in boys' bathrooms.
Because for every single point, the media was like, he's clean cut. He's all American. This guy is not some sort of, he's moderate. He's not some wild leftist.
Midwestern moderate, they said.
And the minute people said, well, why are they calling him Tampon Tim? It's like, because he wants to put tampons in men's restrooms. Well, why? Because he believes men have hold on a second. That's what he believes? Yes.
He's so married to the transgender ideology that he's willing to do
that. He's willing to do this. That was when America went, oh. Because that really worked.
Yeah, it did.
That entire campaign of she's for they, them, he's for you.
Home run.
And then you tied Tim Walz to it, Tampon Tim. Couldn't have been better. Could not have been better. And now he's stuck in who he really is, which is you're governor of a state that pilfered, that stole $1 billion away from taxpayer money using people that shouldn't be here who have very questionable legal status to be here.
And the most irritating part is those people that sold you that he was Midwestern moderate knew it all along. It had already been written about, it had already been reported on, and then already been squashed. Because those Somalis, they're not fools. They figured out how to steal $1 billion. Fools don't steal $1 billion. They might steal, let's say they steal $1,000 or $10,000. But $1 billion, it takes a well-oiled operation to steal $1 billion.
Well, and it quickly moved around the community. Here's how you get it. And I think because of the explosion of autism that we've had in this country, and whatever your reasoning for it is, we all know somebody who has autism.
I have 2 prominent members of our family, nieces and nephews, that struggle with it. It's severe.
So to think that these people came here, didn't assimilate, and then decided to use what is an issue going on with young people as a way to enrich themselves, that's about as gross as it gets. That is stealing from the cancer organization. That is taking money away from the plate in church.
But we've been told that's their culture.
But that's their culture. And so why do you think you have an appetite for? Well, then go home.
That's right. Take your culture.
Take your culture. Take your culture and look, your coat. Get out of here.
And you've got $1 billion. Be happy.
Yeah,
be
get
happy.
Out of here.
You made it.
There's your severance.
That's right.
Get out of here.
Get out. But do the American people, does the American public have what it takes to denaturalize these people, which I'm in support of?
I want to see the polling on this, because I can't imagine. And let's be very honest about this, and this applies to me. When I see a story about somebody who's been in this country for 25 years, brought here by their parents, went to high school, went to college, and I say there's no difference between that person and my daughter, that sucks. But I also acknowledge you're not supposed to be here. And I'm like, okay, go home. Even though your home is here, I'm still saying hopefully, legally, you can come back here as quickly as possible, and let's do it the right way because your parents did not. It's also easier to get rid of people that don't look like me, sound like me, or look like anybody I know, or sound like anybody I know. It's just simple
natural.
truth.
It's just natural. Yeah.
And the minute that you start assimilating to the rest of American society, I'm sitting back going like, you get it, I get it, we're in this thing together. Cool. Let's make sure that you're part of the American experience. There are people that have no interest in that. And the more they stick out, the more it's easier to get them out of here.
Including Somalis.
Yes.
Who, if you listen to Ilhan Omar, she will tell you she's a Somalian first.
She's the one who brought that up.
She's a U.S. representative.
Who's Somalia first.
Who says that? Who says, well, it's actually happened a few times. There's, and forgive me for forgetting the politician out in California. She is from like El Salvador. She's a woman that says, I'm El Salvadorian first. She's a politician that says, that's where I'm from. That's what I care about the most. She is, so there are people out there that will say it and then will talk about it and not step away from it. And at some point, I'll figure out who that is. And but regardless,
yeah, I'm digging into it too. I'm like, because I remember the quote when she pointed it out.
Dude, it drives me crazy. How could you possibly? It's because you were never brought here to assimilate. You were brought here to make sure that the American fabric was destroyed. That way it was easier to change what America is and what America's supposed to be. That was the goal. It's absolutely filthy. But and here's the thing, if you ever want to blame both sides, here's how you can blame both sides. Because Los and I have no allegiance to the Republican Party. We have an allegiance to the United States of America. If you recall, in the 90s, it was George H.W. Bush and Bill Clinton that brought Somalis to America at the clip of 80,000.
Yes.
And I heard somebody say this, and I thought it made a whole lot of sense, and it kind of goes along with what you're saying for people assimilating. If there's 8 Somalis, no big deal. If there's 80,000, that changes the dynamic of that entire area up in Minnesota.
Well, and you start going through, just as you said, here's the math of what it is. What occurred to create this sort of scenario? Well, you had NGOs, those non-government organizations, and the one that's been noted the most is Lutheran Social Services. Lutheran Social Services was compensated to bring Somalis over. Get them into the community. What was occurring? Because you would ask, why are there so many? They couldn't have all just come here without help. Well, no, that's true. The government, the NGO, is being compensated at nearly $2,400 per Somalian.
Goodness.
So when you talk about 8, well, I mean, I'm going to make $2,400. I'm going to sit back and say, all right, great. I made like 18 grand off of this. Well, what happens when I get 8,000? What happens when I get 50,000? How much money am I making now?
Absolutely. We're rolling in the dough.
Yeah. That's how this happens.
California Democrat Representative Robert Garcia stated he was El Salvadorian before he was American. He was Salvadoran American. So it's just one, and I think there's another, because there's a woman that I feel like said the same thing. And I don't mean to
that's the one I more so remember that she brought up.
Yeah. I don't mean to derail us, but it's just the fact that when people are telling you that, when they're saying it out loud, they're comfortable.
That her allegiance and her representation begins there rather than here.
But you're comfortable saying it.
Tell you, we have a voter problem.
Yes, we do. Because who's going to say, you know that person that supports El Salvador or Somalia before America? I think I'm going to vote for them. Who in their right mind makes that decision?
Who do you think is going to be made sure that they're more comfortable than you are?
Or who's going to turn their head when $1 billion is going to El Salvador or going to Somalia? Just maybe in a hypothetical. Not that would happen, Los. $1 billion going to Somalia? Come on, it's not going to happen. Is it? That would never happen. Morning Xtra and Xtra 106.3 when we come back. You won't get nice gifts for Christmas. Nope. You know why? Because Trump. Next and Extra.
The Morning Xtra on Atlanta's only conservative news and talk station, Extra 106.3 FM.
Hey, good morning. It's Los. Let's talk about True Prep. First off, 1000 Cobb Parkway in Marietta. Now, I tell you all the time about when True Prep has really fantastic deals going on. Well, they have that. They've extended their Black Friday deals. That's running through the end of the week. But also, when they have different workshops and different organizations, here's who they've partnered with. This is going to be coming up in just a couple of days. This is all going to be taught from Right to Bear. And what are they doing? This is called the Securing Sacred Places Workshop. What is this? This is geared towards those of you who are church leaders, who are part of safety teams, pastors in your church. This is about getting prepared so that, you know, we have currently a situation where some people target congregations. This is about how you have your church ready if ever a crazy situation was to occur. What is your security? What kind of measures? How do you protect that flock? That is one of the things when we talk about how much that True Prep focuses on the community. That is how they do it. Again, that is coming up on December 4th. It's going to be from 6 to 8 o'clock. Again, 1000 Cobb Parkway in Marietta over at True Prep. You can jump in also with the $10 cost. You also have free with the promo code of True Prep when you register. Again, threat recognition, response, legal protections, liabilities, all of that. That is what True Prep is offering you. Again, huge in your community because of the work they do. Go to trueprep.com. That's TRUprep.com. Prepare today for a worry-free tomorrow with True Prep.
The latest sports news, powered by 680 The Fan and driven to extra listeners by RBM of Atlanta in Sandy Springs, Atlanta's Mercedes-Benz connection since 1964.
Good morning. Here are your sports headlines for Tuesday, December 2nd. The Atlanta Hawks dropped the second game of their back-to-back to the Detroit Pistons in Detroit last night, 99-98 the final. The Hawks are off tonight. They are back at home on Wednesday night as they will play the LA Clippers. From college football, it's now all official. Former Ole Miss coach Lane Kiffin is now officially the new coach over at LSU. He gets a 7-year deal worth $91 million. The University of Kentucky, they also have a new coach after firing Mark Stoops. They have hired Oregon offensive coordinator Will Stein as their next head coach. With your sports headlines, I'm Carlos Medina.
With the holiday season quickly approaching and road trips back in vogue, now more than ever, convenience becomes a must-have. At RBM of Atlanta, we embody this definition. Convenience is our middle name. Meet the RBM of Atlanta Mercedes-Benz pickup and delivery service. It gives you back time and money. Does your Mercedes-Benz need service? If so, we'll pick up your vehicle that's requiring service from your home or office and bring it back to our dealership for those services. And once the services have been complete, we'll bring your Mercedes-Benz back to you. With over 100 appointments available every weekday, over 50 appointments on Saturdays, and more than 200 courtesy vehicles in our fleet, we're here to serve. We'll work around your schedule. We're here to save you time, energy, and money. RBM of Atlanta is a J.D. Power 2025 Diamond Dealer of Excellence for the customer sales experience. And we're proud to be Atlanta's Mercedes-Benz connection since 1964. Pickup and delivery service restrictions do apply. Ask your service coordinator or service advisor at RBM of Atlanta for details.
Ho, ho, holy cow. Family and friends are coming for the holidays, and you need some projects done around the house before they arrive. Relax. We've got you covered. Hi, I'm Chris Lalamia from the Trusted Toolbox. With our handyman for a day deal, we can knock out all those projects you've been putting off for months. From plumbing issues and painting to flooring, fencing, trim work, and much, much more. So get your home ready for the holidays and call us at 770-623-3097, or you can always book it online at thetrustedtoolbox.com.
Of all the radio ads I've ever done, I only advertised one thing that I think saved my life. My CPAP machine, sleep apnea. And I found the best CPAP dealer out there ever, Roddy, at CPAPs, etc., in Alpharetta. CPAPsETC.com. Everything you need, all the supplies, shipped anywhere at a price that often beats insurance. CPAPsETC.com. Go take a peek now.
The holidays are about moments that last forever. At Solomon Brothers Jewelers, every piece of jewelry tells a story, your story. Whether it's a sparkling engagement ring or a gift that says, I love you, we're here to make this season magical with exclusive holiday offers you won't want to miss. From bezel set jewelry and trendy yellow gold to essentials for that layered look. Explore our holiday gift guides or schedule your appointment at SolomonBrothers.com. And don't forget to check out our holiday specials, like our famous diamond studs starting at $9.99. It seems like every year, everything gets more expensive, except here. A 3/4 carat diamond pendant for just $14.99. 3 Atlanta locations in Buckhead, Alpharetta, and Sharpsburg. One tradition of excellence. Book your customized shopping experience today at SolomonBrothers.com. Solomon Brothers, where luxury meets love.
While retinitis pigmentosa takes Mark's vision, his family gives him hope, whether at the family business or at home with his wife and sons. He knows he's not fighting alone. For 50 years, the Foundation Fighting Blindness has funded research into treatments and cures for blinding retinal diseases, providing hope to people with vision loss. And for Mark, winning the fight means being there for his family. The Foundation Fighting Blindness. Together, we're winning. Help us end blinding diseases at fightingblindness.org.
Thousands of veterans across Georgia are missing out on the benefits they've earned through their service. The Warrior Alliance is changing that by connecting veterans and their families to life-changing resources and support. Tune into the Warrior Alliance Network, our podcast and radio show dedicated to helping veterans succeed after service. Join us every Saturday at 11 a.m. on 106.3 to hear inspiring veteran stories, discover free programs, and learn about career opportunities available to you. Subscribe to the Warrior Alliance YouTube channel today.
Shannon Burke is back on the air in Atlanta. Well, sort of. He's live on The Kimmer Show every Thursday at 5 p.m.
When you look at the whole thing, the shutdown business and healthcare and everything about this, the ACA is Democratic policy. Not a single Republican voted for the ACA. The funding, the COVID emergency funding came from Democratic legislation. The expiration date for said funding was also written by Democrats.
Yeah,
now that date's approaching. And they're like, hey,
it was
Trump wrecked it all.
Yep.
Atlanta's biggest conservative voices are only on Extra 106.3 and the Extra app.
Tug and Los until 10 on the Morning Extra on Extra 106.3. I'm going to have to spoil your Christmas. I know we're not even there.
Oh, no.
Just
already?
the second day of December, and I've got to spoil your Christmas. It's terrible news.
23 days early.
I know. But Axios is telling me, and its readers, that people are just going to have to give gift cards and handmade gifts this year because of Trump's tariffs. That's the reason that gift cards are going to be the choice. Not because you don't know what to buy people, and you're just like, hey, maybe a nice gift card would be good. Or if you have someone in your family that is great with sewing or great with crocheting or any of those things, and they have a new baby on the way, maybe they make a handmade gift, and those are special. But no, it's all because of Trump's tariffs. They talk about how tariffs are going to make it hard to give the gifts that you really want to give, like electronics, new clothes, new home goods, as they describe it.
Oh, no.
Just, it's terrible, Los, that's just the way it's going to be. And I'm guessing, because as I read along, I was like, okay, what am I missing here? What is it that they're trying to say? And of course, they're trying to say that Trump's tariffs are the reason that your Christmas is going to be terrible. So I continued to read the article, and they hoped you didn't, if you saw this. Because at the very end of the article from Axios, they contradict themselves. I guess people probably will still give electronics and new clothes and home goods that are vulnerable to tariffs. That's the way they ended the article. They spent the entire article telling you that nobody's going to be able to give anything but gift cards and handmade gifts. And then the very end of the article, last paragraph, toward the last of the couple sentences, well, yeah, people will be able to give all the things that they want to, despite the tariffs.
I've got to look into this a little bit more because I want to see some of the data. But from what I understand, we just had one of the biggest Black Fridays in recent history.
Exactly right.
So you can tell me all about, here's what's going on, and worry about these tariffs. What I know is that you just had consumer spending that went a little bit crazy for that day. And it'll be interesting to see what the Cyber Monday deals, and everybody's still running Black Friday through this week. I know how active the purchases were in my house. So I would like to see how this plays out, because everything right now in this economy is about this weird teetering phase of we're going through it. Like, things are changing. The job market is changing, but yet people are still spending money.
That's right.
And making money in the stock market.
No question. Gas prices being down.
Coming down.
Are crazy. I can't remember the last time gas prices were this low.
We're on average around the country, we're at $3 or under.
Yeah, that's right. But Axios, because I signed up for their newsletter, because every day they send a crazy story like this. And this one caught me enough. I was like, I got to share this. They just told me for an entire article, you're not going to be able to do these things. You can't afford it. And then at the very, very last, right at the very end, well, I guess you will. I guess you're going to be able to. What's the point of the article? Why do you write something like that and contradict yourself at the very end?
Is it just a headline at that point?
I think so.
Is it just some content to then at the very end give you the, April Fools?
But who is it that you're trying to convince? Are you trying?
Your audience already believes this stuff anyway.
That's right. My Aunt Peg, she don't need to read that article. If I were to ask her, hey, you going to give good Christmas gifts? No, Trump's tariffs, Trump's economy's terrible. Won't be able to give anything. It's going to be awful. She's already going to say that. I know that. But that's why it encouraged me to read the entire article, because I was like, there's something that don't feel right about this.
I'm just waiting for my next rate cut.
That's right. Absolutely. And it's supposed to be.
Seeing
month.
this in the next several days.
Yeah.
I get like one more week, which I've been watching this in October, November, December. This is part of the Medina plan. This is what we're going to do. And if it does come along, I will guarantee Christmas gets even better.
Yeah, for most everybody. I would imagine. Except for the people at Axios that says you have to give gift cards and handmade gifts. Not that there's anything wrong with either one of those, but that's what they chose to tell you. You have to give because the economy's so bad.
You having to give 85-year-old gifts? Here's a handful of candy.
That's right. It came out of my pocketbook like my grandmother used to carry.
Here's what I got.
She always had candy in her. It was always hard candy in her pocketbook. No matter if you're at church or either grocery store, she had it.
We have a neighbor of ours. It was during Halloween. We had a friend of ours who turned 40. And so we all dressed up as very old people. Like I was in like a bathrobe and slippers and the big glasses, and the wives as part of the group, they were all dressed up like old ladies. And one of them, actually, this woman, Jennifer, cracked us up. Me and my wife were walking to go get a beer, and she walks up and she stops us out of nowhere, and she just goes, "Here's a piece of candy. Please don't tell the other grandchildren." As she pulls out like a mint out of her pocket. It's like, if that couldn't have been more like totally perfect old person game.
Absolutely.
You're right.
It's exactly what my
carried
grandma
around this candy.
Always had one, no doubt. Smart costumes, and if you're smart enough to read the entire article, you'll probably find out the truth is toward the back. That's what they hope that you'll never do.
I know that my wife, I've told her that, the kids are getting a little bit older and they've gotten the phones, they got the computer.
And they have everything they need.
You would think.
Yeah.
But yet, it almost feels like Christmas is getting a little bit cheaper, but because the next thing is going to be bigger. Like my oldest daughter, she wants a whole lot of clothes and stuff. Where again, it's not like a $500,000 piece of electronic. It's just not. But that car's around the corner.
Yeah, that's going to be the big dog.
And so that's where it's like, all right, here's what we're going to go and do.
And then the problem is, once you do it once,
I know, you got to do it again.
You got to do it a second time.
Got to do it a second time.
Got to pay for college once. You got to do it a second time. Pay for a wedding once. Got to do it a second time.
That's where you win,
dude. I'm telling you, if there's one, and there's days that I wish that we would have had more than just one child, but now I'm one of the very few at my age that I've got a junior in college. And I'm almost done with all of it.
Yeah.
I'm almost done with. We can focus on, hey, what does our retirement look like? What do we want it to look like?
Then you can turn them loose.
Right. We're working toward that now. I mean, we're literally a year and a half, 2 years away from focusing on it solely. But you got a long way to go. And I'm going to keep you in my prayers.
One of these days, we're going to have to change up some of this whole dowry system and bring that back.
That's right.
What do you plan to give me for her?
Yeah, that's right. How much might I get, sir? What? You want to have the best wife for your son, right? You got to make sure you got to slide.
She's athletic and she cleans.
Look at here.
And she cooks.
That's right. I've taught her well. Gosh, that's crazy.
I've created my own Frankenstein. We'll get into that at some point.
I love it. I can't. Maybe tomorrow.
She made dinner the other day and we're like, man, this is really good.
That's awesome.
I'm like, you're going to be dangerous as you get older.
Dude, my son has started cooking too. I don't know if it's a younger person thing, but my son's a bit older than her, but not to the point where it's, crazy older. And he does the same thing. Like, he enjoys cooking. He likes it. Cooks for himself all the time. That'll do it for us. Thank you for being here. 9 o'clock hour brought to you by Southern Exteriors. For Los and Dre, I'm Tug. Y'all come back now, you hear?
Live and local news talk continues at 3 p.m. with Kimmer, Pete, and Flounder. It's the Kimmer Show, only on Extra 106.3 and the Extra app.